All right. Welcome everybody to another BDA live podcast on this Saturday, 11th of November, 2017. Beautiful fall day outside, fall evening I should say, here over the eastern coast, the east coast. Hope it's as good a day wherever you are, and hope it's as good a night with the fights we're going to have today. Joining me as always, King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. And this is Mr. BDA, as always. Lots to talk about, but first, if you want to join us, you want to join the discussion, you want to join the debate, contact us via Google Hangouts through the email address that's on the lower left-hand corner of your screen, or actually it's in just the lower part now, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That is boxingdebate@hotmail.com. And yeah, if you want to join us, you can certainly do so at that address. We'll give you a link, and we'll just, join the debate, see what you want to say. All right, first of all, King Bucho, I just noticed something right away, man. We got the Marvin Hagler logo with the BDA, and he's pointing at his head, and he's got a Christmas hat on, a Santa Claus hat on, but that is obscuring his hand, and I don't know, man, it seems like he's giving the people the finger. What do you think?
Maybe he should.
Maybe he should. Listen, was that intentional, unintentional? I don't know. I guess we'll never be able to find out. We need a little mystery here in the boxing debate arena, and we're going to keep it that way. So again, like I said before, I got interrupted. If you want to join us, you want to join the debate, contact us via Google Hangouts through the email address that's on the lower bottom left-hand corner of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Join the debate. We'll send you a link. You can talk to the people, talk to the masses. And man, there's lots to talk about today. The fights from last week, Stavern and Sean Porter. This week, today we're going to have some good fights as well. We also have the Rigondeaux-Lomachenko fights to talk about. And let me tell you something. We posted a video where we asked the question, who has the better footwork, Lomachenko or Rigondeaux? And we provided some clips. And man, people really got riled up by the question. It's a lot of people, Lomachenko fans, some of them are being irrational. Same thing with the Rigondeaux fans. And I guess some people just don't like to be pointed out that, one guy might have better footwork, and people really get angry, man. Have you been following the discussion at all, King?
Yeah, I don't know who has made an irrational pro-Lomachenko comment, though.
I don't know.
That Lomachenko's going to stop Rigondeaux. I think a lot of people are saying this, though. It's nothing, if you consider that Rigondeaux is moving up in weight, like 2 divisions, he's fighting a bigger guy that has skill and he has power. I don't know. These people who say like Lomachenko doesn't have any power are fucking insane.
Yeah, but I don't think he has the type of power to knock him out cold.
Say that Lomachenko is going to stop Rigondeaux, it's reasonable. Now to say that Rigondeaux is going to knock out Lomachenko, that's another fucking story.
Yeah, if you want to say if you want to say outbox, all right, but stop Lomachenko with one cold shot.
Yeah, it's like,
it would have to be with Lomachenko coming in like an idiot or something like that.
Yeah, anyways.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that if need be. I can already make a prediction here, which is that Daniel Jacobs taking on Luis Arias today in Uniondale, New York, I should say, Uniondale, New York. That is at 10 p.m. Eastern on HBO. And you know how this goes. If we talk about Daniel Jacobs, invariably we're gonna have to talk about Gennady Golovkin, and people love to talk about Golovkin, man. So get ready, people. Strap in. We're gonna be talking about Golovkin. I can guarantee you that as well. Also on the undercard for the HBO card is going to be Jarrell Big Baby Miller taking on Mariusz Wach. Now, Wach, big guy, slow, but he's been in there with Vladimir Klitschko. I believe he went 12 rounds with him. So he should prove to be durable, and we should be able to see how good Jarrell Big Baby Miller is. This whole night, by the way, is a night, I would call it the night of discovery, because we're going to find out how good Baby Miller is against a tough, durable opponent. We're going to see whether Daniel Jacobs is the truth as well, whether he actually belongs in the upper echelons of the middleweight division. But don't forget, in Fresno, California, at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, on ESPN, Artur Beterbiev, the Destroyer, takes on Enrico Koelling, or Kolling, I don't know how you say it, that's a German name. Strong, proud German heritage on his side. And it's going to be for the vacant IBF light heavyweight title. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was for a vacant title because I don't follow the titles.
Neither.
You knew that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. It's for the IBF title. So, you know, that light heavyweight division, like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, it's loaded division, man. Loaded division. And so the night of discovery continues, and we're going to see whether Beterbiev is the goods. I mean, the guy he's fighting is not that strong opponent, or he's not. I don't think he's on Beterbiev's level. I've seen his fights. He's a strong guy, but he doesn't have punching power. He doesn't have speed. So he's going to be right there in front of Beterbiev, which is what Beterbiev wants. So I don't see things ending too well for him, but at least we're going to get to see Beterbiev try to lay that smackdown on somebody. And hopefully he fights somebody with a pulse or somebody with hand speed or extreme power in his next bout. Also, Liam Smith is going to be fighting today, a rematch of his last fight. So we should be able to, you know, while we're streaming, while this stream is going on, we might be able to catch the round by round. Liam Smith versus Liam Williams, which ended in a technical decision, I believe, the last time. And Liam Smith didn't look all that good last time against Liam Williams. I hope people don't get confused about it. Liam Williams, Liam Smith, Smith Williams, Smith. It's they all have the same names over there in England. There's no variety. How come nobody's named Quasar or something like that? It's always all these ancient Gaelic names, or not Gaelic, but what would you call them, King Butcher? What type of names are these? British names or Western names?
Anglo-Saxon? I don't know.
It's Anglo-Saxon. Yes, I think that's what I was going for. But anyway, yeah, that fight's gonna be taking place. I don't know what time, so I guess we'll see. All right, let's get right on to it. Long ass introduction. I don't like it. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder last Saturday, I should say. He fought 1 week after Anthony Joshua's win over Carlos Takam. Somewhat controversial win because it was a bad stoppage. And then Deontay Wilder comes in against once beaten, or actually the guy he had already beaten before, Bermane Stiverne, who came in fatter and, as I expected, mentally weaker than the last time. And all it took was one round for Deontay Wilder to blast him out of there. King, what did you make of that fight?
I mean, it's what I predicted. I predicted an even fatter Stiverne to show up in this rematch. And that's pretty. I wasn't expecting him to get knocked out in the first round. I thought he was going to go longer than that because, you know, Stiverne has a chin. That's what I believe. But in this fight, you know what? I think it was more the mental. You know, he was already like mentally broke down or something.
Yeah, especially after the second knockdown, the way he got up and you could see his face. He knew it was over. Like, he's getting tagged this hard from the first round on. Things weren't gonna look up for him.
Yeah, no, it was just what I expected. I mean, he just was fat, out of shape. We had a lot of inactivity.
Because you know how some guys, they can get tagged in the first couple of rounds, then they sort of adjust to the power and they're able to take it afterwards. But when you're a fat, immobile piece of now, you know,
Wilder had no respect, man.
Exactly. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't dodge any better. You can't really.
Yeah, exactly. You're just standing there with your arms, you know, trying to block those punches, and you know, Wilder just went through the middle of that guard, right?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Did you see how he couldn't even block properly? He couldn't close his arms. He couldn't, like, his elbows when he put the guard up, his elbows couldn't touch each other. So the right hand was just passing right through him, and it was really bizarre. But that's what happens when you show up with rolls of fat on your arms, man. It's you can't block properly. So
I mean, not even Butterbean would put a performance like that, man.
Well, you know, but that's the thing, man. This fucking Bermane Stiverne didn't put up a fight, but it did show us that, well, we already knew, man, that Deontay Wilder's power is real, man. That right hand, just that right hand alone is going to cause Joshua's problems, because Joshua's going to have to be worried about neutralizing it and avoiding it. And whenever you're worried about something else, so that takes you out of the game a little bit. So he's going to have to definitely adapt and put a lot of pressure back on Wilder, so that Wilder worries about the offense that's coming back to him. Because if not, man, let me tell you something. Wilder's going to be in trouble. Fury is going to be in trouble. And
want to start talking about Danny Jacobs and Luis Arias?
No, I still want to talk about Wilder versus Fury, man. I think this is a fight now. I know people call me crazy. Yeah, Wilder, obviously he has less skills than Fury. But that right hand, man, and you notice that Wilder only really gets nuts and throws the technique out the window when he has the guy hurt. He doesn't start swinging like that from the get-go. So,
and I don't think he's ever gonna get Joshua hurt at any point in time. So You're never gonna see that Wilder. Which, by the way, he should fight like that against Joshua. But I mean, he should go all out because he has no other choice, and he can hope that one of those punches is gonna land and he's gonna hurt Joshua. But other than that, I mean, he has to do that. He has no other choice. What's he gonna fucking do? Like, I'll jab against. Well, Joshua doesn't have a jab, but I mean, what's Waller gonna do? Try to have a boxing match against an Olympic gold medalist?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't think he can outbox Joshua. He has to
go all out. Because if he then tries, which this is what Wilder will probably do, try to use, like, he's gonna try to perfect that jab that he has, and then he's gonna try to, like, wait for the right moment to land a right. It's never gonna land. And he's probably gonna lose by unanimous decision. If he tries to fight like that, if he tries to just land one punch, it's never gonna happen.
I agree that it's a bad plan. Like, that Wilder is definitely on the bad side of the fight here because his only hope is to land that right hand. That being said, why are you so sure that he's not gonna be able to land it?
I just think Joshua he blocks better. He can see the punches coming. Wilder's pretty predictable. He telegraphs his punches. A guy like Joshua, I think even though he's too muscular in my opinion, but he can still see those punches coming, so he can block those punches. He's not like Wilder opponents that are just like Steve Earn. He's just shelling up. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, Wilder hits so hard, he's gonna hit you behind the head or something. He's gonna hurt you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I think I could say the same thing about Wilder, man. If you stand right in front of him and just wait and just block, the chances of him landing something, even if it's on the top of the head or whatever, he's gonna hurt you, man. And Joshua is not the fastest guy, and he can't be hit. We saw Carlos Takam hit him a whole bunch of times, so I don't know.
Takam's way faster than Wilder.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree there, but that right hand from Wilder is still pretty quick, and if Fury,
Takam was waiting for Joshua to come in, and then he was trying to counter and stuff like that.
I think if Joshua gives Wilder the distance that he needs to uncoil that right hand, he's gonna be in trouble. He should really try to push Wilder back because I don't think
I was gonna say that. And then when Wilder gets pushed back, you can see that sometimes he extends his arms.
Yeah.
And his neck is hanging like right there in the air, ready to get hit, man.
Yeah, he's inviting guys to knock him out, and he's never fought somebody that was.
And stuff, like, he does weird movements. He's the defense out the window, man.
He's never fought anyone that's as tall as he is, or almost as tall, and that's pretty goddamn good, you know. I mean, Gerald Washington. He's not even that good, but he was able to match somewhat Wilder's size, and he gave him a whole lot of problems just by maintaining a good sense of distance in and out, not allowing Wilder to land his big shots. But again, that's the thing. The more rounds you spend in there against Wilder, the higher the chances that he's going to land a big power punch, and he did, and he took out Washington. But of course, Fury is Fury. I always keep saying Fury. Yeah. Joshua is a different animal, much more skilled, and much better offense than Washington. So it's a fight that I'm looking forward to, even though I think it's a mismatch in terms of skills. But this isn't just about skills. This is about power. This is about who can hurt who. It's about tenacity. And I think it's a pretty good matchup right there, man. All right, you know what I'm going to do? Start inviting people if they want to show up. Right. Again, I want to remind our viewers out there that if you want to join us, you want to join the debate, do so via Google Hangouts. Send us a message, an instant message via boxingdebate@hotmail.com. We'll send you a link to the discussion, and then you can talk to us and, let us have it. Say whatever you want, give us your opinion, and all that good stuff. All right, King, I'm going to start doing that. You take over for the meantime. And really give all these good people a shelican. All right? Give them a good, proper shelican. That's right. What's that?
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said, I don't know what a shelican is. Anyways.
Oh, you'll know. You'll find out.
Let's see. Danny Jacobs against Luis Arias. Danny Jacobs, he weighed in at 159.6 pounds. Luis Arias weighed in at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. Luis Arias is 27 years old. Danny Jacobs, I believe, he's 30 years old. No, he's 30 years old. I think this fight is pretty interesting. Because I don't know if you guys been reading about Danny Jacobs and his recent statements. He's been claiming that we know he's been saying for a long time that he beat Golovkin. Now he's saying that he is the best middleweight. And in my opinion, he's acting a little bit too arrogant. And even Luis Arias has said this. Like, he says Jacobs is overconfident. I think that Jacobs actually has a lot of pressure here. it's his first fight with Eddie Hearn. HBO is actually, he believes in this Daniel Jacobs project. They want to groom Daniel Jacobs, and they want to make him an opponent for Golovkin or Canelo. So I think there's a lot of pressure on here with Danny Jacobs, because if he loses, this is gonna be pretty hard for Danny Jacobs to come back after that, man. This is the moment he has to shine. And by the way, Jacobs not only has to win against Arias, he has to impress. If he goes to a 12-round controversial decision or close decision, it's over. I mean, Jacobs right now, he's hanging by that Golovkin win. That he actually went 12 rounds with Golovkin. But like I said, if he doesn't impress us with the Arias fight, then who the hell wants to see Jacobs go Canelo after that? I mean, sure, some people, boxing fans will, but the majority of people, especially casual fans, won't be interested in that type of fight. So it's really up to Jacobs not to impress us.
All right, now I got a question for you there, King. Let's say that Daniel Jacobs takes Arias out in one round, or gives him a frightful beating. Really the type of beating that even makes you go, ref should stop the fight right away, or he should have done it a couple of rounds ago. Will you give Daniel Jacobs any credit, or will you say, who had Luis Arias beaten? He had never beaten anybody, blah, 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 blah.
No, Arias, I've watched some of his fights, and he looks like a pretty decent opponent. He's undefeated. He's 18-0. He only has 9 knockouts, but he can. As we saw in his last fight against the Russian guy, I forgot his name. Sorry. Luis Arias stopped him. So he can hit. He has power.
He's got skills too.
Like, listen, if Daniel Jacobs destroys Luis Arias, of course I'm gonna give Daniel Jacobs credit.
Okay, good. Yeah, because
he's supposed to do that, basically. What I mean, if indeed Jacobs is as good as he fucking claims, he believes he's the best middleweight out there. What would Golovkin do against Luis Arias, in your opinion?
I don't know, because I just don't know all that much about Arias. All I know about Arias is that I think
you don't think Golovkin would stop Arias?
Probably, yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Unless
Jacobs has to do the same thing here. He's not. He claims he's the #1 middleweight. He has a lot of power. He's a power. Before the Golovkin fight, he had a 17-fight knockout streak, winning streak, right?
Yeah.
So something like that. So he should be able to knock this guy out.
He should. I mean, that's the thing. That's what we're gonna try and find out today. Just how good everyone is. Daniel Jacobs, man. It's an interesting thing, because you would think a guy who knocked out Peter Quillin in 1 round, and who went 12 tough rounds against Golovkin, you would think we could look at that guy and say, yeah, he's one of the best. But I still think he's an unknown commodity here, because 1 round against Peter Quillin, I don't know what happened. Still, I invited him, so yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, so that I don't know what with Daniel Jacobs. I don't know, man. He beat Peter Quillin in 1 round, but he didn't even go long enough to even see what he was all about, Daniel Jacobs. I guess the Golovkin fight did show us that he belongs in the top echelons of the middleweight division, but I really want to see what he has here against a fellow young, skilled fighter, because really, if you think about it, Sergio Mora had his knees all screwed up. Peter Quillin was a good win. He took him out really fast. Golovkin, I don't know, man. Maybe starting to get a little old. And Caleb Truax, he's a good, decent fighter, but he's not even top 10 middleweight material. So let's see what happens tonight, man. I really want to see what happens. I want to see how Jacobs looks. I wouldn't bet on him. I wouldn't bet the farm on him, to tell you the truth. And I don't know. We're going to see, man. We're going to see. What could also happen is that he comes in there and he struggles against Arias, and then people just go, tell Golovkin sucks. By the way, I want to welcome Ray, who just joined us in the podcast. Ray, how are you, man?
Good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about Daniel Jacobs. He's going to be fighting Luis Arias today on HBO. And of course, invariably, if we talk about Jacobs, we got to talk about Golovkin. So what's your opinion on Jacobs? Are you excited to see him fight tonight and see whether he really is?
I'm glad he's not taking another year-long layoff. He's coming off, what was his biggest fight. So, he kind of needs to come back and keep himself, relevant in the division. But I think he looked really good in that fight because he was just so big, you know. Golovkin just respected him so much.
Yeah, man, he was really the size did. Yeah, big middleweight. The size did play a factor. That's why. Jacob and his team decided to do that. I mean, they didn't do it because just for fun. They knew it was gonna have some good results on their benefit, on their part.
Yeah, and he wasn't that big in his last couple fights because I remember when they finally announced the fight, Jacob said he needed 3 months or something, and people were like, "Well, why do you need 3 extra months to train if apparently he was ready to do it like a month before?" And then they agreed to the fight, and then he said he wanted like another 3 months, and you know he just packed on the weight in those 3 months.
Yeah, it's that. I wonder how they did it, man. Because like you said, they took their sweet ass time to do it, so it means it must have been a bit of a complicated procedure to make middleweight and then show up looking like he weighed about 170 something. I mean, I wonder how. What do you think he's gonna come in at normal weight this time, or he's gonna show up big?
I
as
don't
well?
know. I think what's his name was still involved with his nutrition. I forget his name. That other fighter, the one that, yeah, Algeria. Yeah, he. That was really I think the crucial thing with the Golovkin fight because he didn't hook up with him until after they had announced the fight. Because previously he said he was ready, and then they said no. It's like we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it in 3 or 4 months' time. And then he hooked up with Algeria, and I think that was the game plan the whole time, is just to pack on muscle and then just cut, you know. Because I guess he did things completely different from the way he's done it before. So if it worked for him before, I don't see why he wouldn't want to do it again. You know, keep the size advantage over people.
King Butcher, you didn't respect that move at all, did you?
What? Sorry.
You didn't respect that move at all. The coming in fucking heavy, the night of the fight.
No.
No, it's
like
No, go ahead.
No, it's he was like, I don't know what he weighed, but he looked like a cruiserweight, man.
Yeah, I was there for that fight, and I'm telling you, like, TV doesn't even do it justice. He looked fucking massive.
Jeez, I mean,
like, I was in the second deck, and he looked at least 2 divisions higher than him.
Yeah, somebody said that the weigh-in today, Jacobs looked drained. So.
No shit.
I mean, I'm sure he had a hell of a time making weight with the Triple G fight, but the thing is, he had, 8 extra hours to rehydrate because he skipped the IBF weigh-in, and then they did the original weigh-in 4 hours earlier than most weigh-ins on Fridays.
Okay.
So in addition to that 4 hours, he had the 4 hours to gain weight, and then he skipped the IBF weigh-in. So he just had, what is it, like 30 hours, 32 hours to rehydrate, as opposed to, 24, 25 normally.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that luxury now, does he? Because this is no title fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what time the weigh-in was this time, but most weigh-ins are like 5 o'clock, 5 p.m., something like that. And they did this weigh-in like really early at noon for the Triple G fight.
See, I'm looking at the comments here on the chat, and Foul Pole. I want to welcome Foul Pole also. Foul Pole Boxing in the chat. Thank you for listening. He says going 12 with Triple G proves that Daniel Jacobs is at least a B-. And he says that John David Jackson is going to be in Arias' corner. John David Jackson, that can go either way, man, because he's a good trainer. He knows his stuff, but then at the same time, he's got a bit of a temper. You know, he'll leave his fighters in the corner while the fight's going on if he doesn't like what he's seeing. And I tell you, we had Randall Bailey on the show once, and he didn't have kind words to say about John David Jackson, so we'll see. Cameron Gillen saying, what's happening, fellas? Hey, what's happening right back at you, man? Thank you for listening. So yeah,
who's he trained besides Kovalev?
Who has he trained, or who does he train?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know he doesn't train Kovalev anymore, but who's his other big name fighters that he trains? That's
a good question, man.
I know they're pretty hard. Because I know everybody's always said like Kovalev doesn't even really pay attention to his trainer; he just does his own thing, and I guess he just didn't respect Jackson. That's why they parted ways.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's the thing. During that whole drama, first of all, I don't know who else John David Jackson trains. I believe he trains some other Eastern European fighters that have immigrated to the United States. But John David Jackson is a bit of a peculiar character because Kovalev says that John David Jackson was a good for nothing. John David Jackson asserts that he actually taught Kovalev a lot, but that it was Kovalev who didn't want to go all the way into the learning process. Then you have other fighters like, I think Nate Campbell speaks well of John David Jackson. I know Bernard Hopkins does as well, even though he parted ways with him for a while there as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay, I'm seeing a list here. Algieri, Curtis Stevens right now. Nate Campbell, I guess formerly Shane Mosley. A couple other guys recently that I don't know. Brad Solomon. Yeah. Okay, I guess so Algieri and Stevens right now mostly.
Yeah, Algieri and Steve. Yeah, you're right. I had forgotten that Algieri started training with him, I think, before the Khan fight. Or maybe it was after the Pacquiao fight. I don't remember. But yeah, he was definitely in there when Khan fought Algieri. And John David Jackson was in the corner. So, I don't know, man. John David Jackson certainly knows his stuff. He was a former middleweight champion, I believe, right? Or junior middleweight?
Algieri, I think he was...
No, John David Jackson.
Oh, he was... What does it say here? He was... He was a light middleweight, and super middleweight.
Yeah, okay. And he won a title, I believe, at light middleweight. So... Okay, so Foul Poly Boxing saying, I heard the Bailey comments. If Arias feels bad, John David Jackson will look bad with all the attention he's been seeking. He trains Dylan Davis, who is an American 168-pounder. He's of an unknown, but he's solid. Yeah, John David Jackson, he always has somebody around. Always has some fighters in his stable. He's not one of those trainers that disappears for a while and then comes back when he finally finds somebody. He seems to be rather busy with his own stable, so good for him. But we'll see how good Luis Arias looks in there. Now, Ray,
I'm looking forward to the fight.
Good. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Thanks, Lazar Olkasevic, for subscribing. I hope you enjoy the content, and I hope you don't get into too many fights in the comment section with everybody else. It's a war zone right now in the comment section for the BDA videos, so that's what we wanted. We want a little bloodshed. Everybody agreeing with each other. It gets kind of boring. All right, Ray, I wanted to ask you, man. We all in the undercarders, Jarrell Big Baby Miller is going to be taking on Mariusz Wach, who I believe went 12 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko. Are you eager to see Jarrell Miller fight?
I don't think I've seen a ton of Jarrell Miller. I think I saw his last fight. Man, let me look it up. I can't remember who he fought. Okay, Gerald Washington. Yeah. Okay, it says retired. I know I watched that fight. I just can't remember, to be honest with you. I guess that was Gerald Washington after he got demolished by Deontay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember too much about the guy, to be honest with you. Not gonna lie.
Hey, Cameron Gillian says, hey, that's a good song. Classic 90s song. I'm subscribing because of that. Well, good. All we need to do is put up a good song and people will subscribe. Yeah, going back to the Big Baby Miller fight against Gerald Washington, he sort of broke... You know, that's the interesting thing. Deontay Wilder stopped Washington because he caught him with one good shot, and then the follow-up forced the ref to stop the fight. But it was really one punch that did Gerald Washington in.
Yeah, no, he was outboxing the shit out of him, too, if I remember correctly.
You mean Washington was outboxing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Big Baby Miller, who's slow as molasses, was just...
Oh, he's a really huge guy, right?
He's almost 300 pounds, man.
Yeah, okay, now I think I remember that fight.
He's massive. He's a massive guy. You wonder how he's going to be able to do against a guy that's got... Was that King?
Oh, who are you talking about? Wash or...
No, about...
Miller.
Miller, yeah. Well, hold on. Cameron Gillian is asking, do you guys accept callers? Yeah, man. Go on
not
Google.
Phone callers. I mean, like...
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, Cameron Gillian, head over to Google Hangouts if you have an account, and just send us a message to the address that says boxingdebate@hotmail.com. Send a message to that address. We'll give you a link and you can talk with us live. It's not a phone call. It's just, it's an internet, what do you call it? Internet teleconference call or whatever.
Let's call it that.
Yeah, let's call it that. I hope the instructions were clear. So yeah, so send a message to the email address that you see on the lower bottom part of the screen. You have to do it via Google Hangouts. Then we'll send you a link and you can talk to us. You can use any type of mic you want as long as it sounds good. And yeah. He says, yeah, I'm using my laptop. I got Hangouts. Okay, cool, man. So you can use your phone. You can use a microphone, a webcam microphone, whatever, man. So yeah.
I was going to say about Baby Miller. These guys, yesterday, he weighed in at 284 pounds. That's 15 pounds less than in his last fight against George Washington that took place in July.
Wait, 15
in
pounds
July,
less?
He weighed in at 298 pounds, almost 300.
That's a big dude, man.
Yep. He's 6'4" though.
Still, yeah, but even then, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, supposedly Deontay Wilder's 6'7", right? Which I don't believe.
No, I think he is, man. Come on.
Okay, but supposedly he's 6'7", so this guy weighs even more, a shitload more, than Deontay Wilder, and he's about 2 or 3 inches shorter. So I mean, my God, let me show you a picture here of Baby Miller.
He's pretty mobile, you know. He's not. I mean, I think he's even faster than, or more athletic, let's say, than Joshua.
Actually,
he's heavier than Joshua, so I don't know how that fucking works.
How come trying to show a picture here, but all I see... Oh, there we go. So yeah, there you see Big Baby Miller. He's a big dude, weighs 280 something, like Bucho said, but as you can tell, he's not all muscle. He's got a couple of healthy layers, I mean, maybe unhealthy layers of fat. I don't know, you can see he's got a bit of a... What do they call it? A tire around his waist. And he doesn't have a whole lot of definition.
Would you agree that he looks in better shape than Steve Earn?
Yeah.
Everybody looks in better shape than Steve Earn.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly.
No, you can tell he's got the muscle mass, but he's, yeah. If he were to cut down, he'd probably be, well, he may be too, how do you say, just like muscle bound if he were to actually lose a lot of weight. He looks like he just has that structure where he's like got like a bodybuilder structure that's just too fat.
Yeah, man, that's just, I mean, you have to wonder how much better he would be if he sort of shed some of that fat and actually put on some nice, healthy, I mean, just kept some nice lean muscle to try to become faster. He's never going to be fast. He's never going to be David Haye fast. I mean, he's too big and too tall for that, but hey, every bit counts, man. King Butcher, take over. I'm gonna send Cameron Gillen a link, all right?
Okay. I'll take over what? But yeah, I mean, I think Baby Miller, I think he's a dangerous opponent for any heavyweight. I don't know what you think. I mean, he did destroy Gerald Washington. Gerald Washington, when was doing pretty good against Deontay Wilder. We can even say that Wilder struggled against Gerald Washington, but Baby Miller he just dominated Washington.
That was a fight where Deontay was like completely dumbfounded by a jab, right?
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Like, what is this guy doing?
The guy sounded like an ex-football player, man. Like, he's not even that good. So
yeah, I
think Baby Miller. I mean, I'm excited about watching this guy. I mean, he can throw combinations. And Miller just said that, well, by the way, this is Miller's first fight with Eddie Hearn. So he also wants to impress everyone. It's also his first fight on HBO. And apparently he's been talking with Eddie Hearn and they have agreed, or this is what their plan is. Their plan is that 2 fights from now, he should be fighting Anthony Joshua. So yeah, Miller knows what he has to do. He has to keep on winning, and then eventually he's gonna get the Joshua fight. So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited.
Everybody's chasing Joshua, man. It's just like, you know, everyone wants.
Why would you want to fight Wilder?
Yeah, nobody wants to fight Wilder. There's just not money in it, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, nobody knows who Wilder is outside of Alabama, you know.
He doesn't even sell out in Alabama. That's the thing. That's the problem.
Can't sell out an hour from his hometown.
Man, Jarrell Miller has been talking a lot of crap to everybody. He's been talking some serious smack, man. He was going after Deontay Wilder. He's going after Joshua. There's even a video where he shows up to Shannon Briggs' gym, and Bermain Stiverne was there, and you see Miller's making fun of him, like lightly making fun of him, saying, "Hey, you could, you were, the champ is here. Well, you only held on for the title for a couple of days, but hey, you're still a champ." And then you see Bermain Stiverne just gets up and tries to fight him, and it's this guy Miller, man. He could get under people's skin, man.
Yeah, he's talking shit about everyone, like Dylan White, and
he could get his shot, man.
Sounds it going, like he's ready to step up.
Keep it going, guys. I gotta head out for a sec. Hold on.
All right. So, Yeah, that's a pretty interesting heavyweight fight. What do you think about Beterbiev? Beterbiev. I don't even know who he's fighting. I don't know much about this other guy, the German fighter. I just know he fights a lot of times in Germany, so now he's leaving the German nest.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, what up, man? You're a Cameron, right? Oh no, you're not Cameron, Jack. I guess Cameron was coming. Yeah.
What up, sorry, I'm doing something real quick, so I'll talk to y'all in like 2 minutes. But I'm busy right now, so I'll mute my mic and I'll be back in like 2 minutes. But I'll stay in the call.
Okay. So yeah, Beterbiev, what's your take on him?
Oh yeah, I like Beterbiev, man. He's definitely one of the top guys at 175. I think, man, if they did a tournament at 175, that's probably the most stacked division out there.
Yeah, and also Beterbiev has to. I mean, I think he's gonna win by knockout. But I don't know what's. I mean, what's the plan with Beterbiev now? Like, is he gonna, because of this promotional issues, is he gonna fight somebody, another top light heavyweight? So that's my concern about the light heavyweight division. It's so fragmented.
So, well, see, the guys he's facing is he's 23-1. I guess he lost the fight by decision. Yeah, unanimous decision. So let's see, he ain't a puncher, man. 26 KOs and 23 wins.
Yeah, not a lot of knockouts.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. He better have a hell of a chin if he wants to win this fight.
Can he run for 12 rounds? I don't know.
Yeah, not against somebody as powerful as Beterbiev, man. That guy hits like a truck.
Yeah, but Beterbiev, man, a lot of people have been hearing a lot of people saying the same things that I've been saying, that he's sort of like the secret weapon at the light heavyweight division. I mean, we've seen Vivo, we've seen a couple of other guys on HBO who have looked good. Where you haven't seen Beterbiev yet on either HBO or I think we've seen him on Showbox on Fridays, but he's never actually fought, I think, on HBO on Showtime Championship Boxing. So another unknown guy that we don't know all that much about. He's fought some strong guys, but listen, strong guys that have no power or any type of exceptional speed or talent can't really stand up to him. He's gonna eat him up. So I really want to see him fight somebody that's got one of those attributes. But at least the guy he's fighting, Colling, I don't know how you say his name, Colling, Enrico Colling, he's a German dude. Or I think he's a German dude. Yeah, he seems strong and durable. He's almost like a little bit of like an Arthur Abraham, but light version. You know, he doesn't have the skills, he doesn't have the power, but he does have tenacity from what I can see. So hopefully he puts up a good fight, man. That's all I really want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of off topic, but the Mayweather Boxing Club channel just asked people at their gym who'd win, Adrian Broner or Roberto Duran, because Adrian Broner just said recently he'd beat a prime Roberto Duran.
Well, Adrian Broner obviously has gotten hit in the head a couple of too many times. I think Mikey Garcia's jab or right hands actually.
yeah, Marcos Madonna messed him up.
Yeah, I think he messed him up. Listen, Roberto Duran, man, people think he was just a brawler. The guy could box, the guy could counterpunch, and when he was on the inside,
lightweight, he was, man, something else.
He was a beast. This guy, Duran, all-time great, can beat almost anybody out there. I dare say then, if they ever held a tournament in the afterlife involving all the best lightweights, all the lightweights of all time, the best ones.
In the afterlife.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, man. But I think Duran definitely top three lightweights of all time. And Broner, I mean, really, what's his claim? He couldn't even handle Maidana.
He's kind of a bum. Let's be real. He's a hype job.
Well, I mean, he got too much hype too early on in his career, man. People were saying he was an ex-Mayweather, the Mayweather with power, blah blah blah, this and that. Come on, whenever you saddle a fighter with that high expectation, seldom do they live up to it, man. So, yeah, Broner actually said that.
Yeah, that's what the Mayweather Boxing Club said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly looking at Broner's box rec, and I'm trying to find his best win.
No, did you see what he posted once on his Twitter?
The biggest names he's got is John Molina and Paulie Malignaggi.
He was comparing himself to Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Muhammad Ali in one of his tweets, saying, "I'll be back soon." With wait, let me check his Twitter real quick.
Well, on the one hand, I do respect that he's You know, at least he's not saying. I mean, what else do we expect him to say? We don't expect him to say, "Oh, I'm a bum. I'm a piece of crap. I'm going to retire. I think, or I should retire."
We don't have to be so arrogant about it.
Hey, that's his style. We all know that's what Adrian Broner does.
Yeah,
I don't think we should be surprised.
Broner's gonna be Broner, man.
Exactly. Until the day that he retires or gets run over by a truck or something, he's gonna. You know, he could get run over by a truck and have his insides spilling all over the street, and he'd be saying, "Nah, I'm better than the truck. I'm better than the truck." This guy's
yeah, dude. He probably was.
It was a lucky shot, right?
yeah, lucky run over. A lucky run over.
He was like, I wasn't ready.
Hey, but Broner's gonna Broner, man, like you guys said. Yeah, Beterbiev, man. So, hey, I just want to show you a clip real quick because people think that Beterbiev can't box, but I saw. Actually, I posted it on Twitter a couple of months ago, but the Beterbiev, I think it was the World Championships, World Amateur Championships, when he took on. What's his name? Alexander Gvozdyk. I think Gvozdyk back then, he was obviously lighter. And it was a pretty good fight, man. You could see that Beterbiev could box. I'm looking for the fight real quick here.
Who ended up winning?
Alexander Usyk. I think it was Usyk.
That was the last of the middleweights. We're now...
Hold on a second. I'm just going to show some clips real quick because I don't know if I can... Alright, so there you have Usyk. And you can see Beterbiev in red, obviously. He's not the southpaw. You know, good foot movement, a little bit of an in and out foot movement, little hops. He's not just blocking shots like a mindless slugger. He's actually giving some good angles.
Wait, did Usyk beat him? Wait. What happened? Who won?
I think it was Usyk that won. Let's see, I'm showing you clips here.
Well, amateurs are different.
Yeah, I'd imagine these guys would be like super. This would be like a chess match probably if they were to fight now. I don't know if both of these guys would really let their hands go.
Well, but Beterbiev, man,
they'd probably have a lot of respect for each other.
I do wonder how hard Usyk hits, because it would appear to me that Beterbiev has gotten better in the punching power department. Or maybe he doesn't look good here right now because he's not landing much, anything clean. But Beterbiev certainly is a beast. I'm going to show you another clip here of him hitting the pads. And I'm going to put the sound on for a little while just so that people can hear how he's killing those pads. Hold on a second.
Whoa!
Anyway, yeah, man, that's Iceman, the Iceman, John Scully, that's training him or holding the mitts for him at that point.
Looks like a douchebag with that snapback and gold chain on.
That's John Scully, man, one of the best. I think it was a fantastic. I think actually he fought John. Did he fight Roy Jones in the amateurs? I think so. Ooh, good news! We got a new addition to the panel. Oh, hold on a second. Who's? Kenny Price just subscribed. Kenny, thanks a lot for subscribing and for joining the BDA family. All right, so who do we got here then? It's Fight Strike, aka who?
No, it's Cameron. It's Cameron.
Oh, Cameron, how are you, man?
I'm very well. How about you?
Oh, fantastic, man. Now that you're here, we got more people on the line now.
I love British. I love British people that come on here. They're so much more educated than the American. I mean, I'm American, but sorry, I'm sorry. This is like, what do you call it? Racist to my own Americans. But British people are usually more educated on boxing than Americans. But I'm sorry, continue.
I don't even know if he's British. He sounded like Irish or something. I mean, without being too specific, where are you from, Cameron?
From England. From England.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That accent is, it's not a Manchester accent, that's for sure.
No, it's Southern.
Southern, all right.
I'm Tyson Fury, the big stiff man, Anthony Joshua.
All right, Ben Churchill just subscribe. I hope that doesn't. That's too loud, man. But thank you, Ben, for joining the BDA fold. We'll certainly look out for each other here in the family. All right, what were we talking about? Beterbiev, yeah, you said that he looked like a douchebag with that cap on.
Yeah, and the gold chain.
Yeah, whatever, man. He's a good trainer, John Scully. I think that was John Scully. I'm not even sure. But yeah, so Beterbiev, you can see he's got a good boxing skills. He's got the power. It's just that so far nobody's been able to stand up to that power. His record, Beterbiev's record is 11 wins, 11 knockouts. So no decisions, obviously. And I think the only one who's been able to last a couple of rounds with him was it, who's he fought? Christian Cruz, Bill Bailey?
Let's go on the good old box rec.
Yeah, I think Jeff Page Jr. is the only guy that lasted. I think Jeff Page Jr. actually dropped him.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Wait, it says...
Off the top of my head,
I think so too, yeah.
Johnson went 7 rounds.
I think Moderna, who he fought last year, went a few rounds as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 rounds.
It took him a while to get...
That's a couple of rounds for Beterbiev.
4 rounds. 4
4
rounds of Beterbiev is like 10 rounds with somebody else.
Man, I really
Somebody went 7. It says Alexander Johnson went 7.
Good old Alexander Johnson. I don't know who. Yeah, 7 rounds.
No, Beterbiev has some good wins. He fought Cloud. He's beat Campillo. You know, these were solid wins. This is when he was first. He had like 4 or 5 fights.
Yeah, that's true, man. He's been trying to step it up, but I don't think anybody wants to fight him right now. And he beat the.
No, it's promotional. Is because I've got a quite good relationship with his manager. His promotional issues have really cost him a year of his career. People say, you know, fighters are ducking him. They're not ducking him. It's just the fact that his promoter's not being able to basically oblige to the obligations that he has in his contract. So that's why he's not really been fighting.
Okay, that makes some sense then. Because I know he's with Yvon Michel of Gym, which is a Canadian promotional company. But doesn't he also have some sort of connection with the PBC?
Yeah, Al Heyman manages him. Yvon Michel is his actual promoter, but they're currently in a lawsuit.
About what?
Beterbiev wants out. Beterbiev wants out of it. Yvon Michel wants to obviously, you know, fight to keep him under his stable, but Beterbiev wants out of that.
Yeah, because I mean, come on, man. If you're not fighting, what's the point of being with the PBC? The PBC fight plan is fight once every year or every 2 years and hope for the best. That's their plan.
Sorry, I think that's funny.
But I'm just saying, man, I think Beterbiev needs to step it up. And I think we've all heard, being boxing fans, we've all heard that he's got history with Sergey Kovalev, that Beterbiev used to be the darling of the Russian national team, while Sergey Kovalev languished in the back. You know, he was in the bench all the time. So I think yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was about to say, am I the only one that sees Russian fighters with great jabs? Like Golovkin and Sergey Kovalev had the best jabs in the sport. And you know Andrew Galata, the old heavyweight champion? Or no, he was actually never champion. He was just a contender.
He was Polish,
but his jab. What? His jab was amazing.
Yeah, but did you think he was Russian?
Well, he's Polish. That's
Polish, yeah.
That's similar.
Oh, they're all, they're all the same to you, huh? You racist.
Hey.
Polish, Czechoslovakian, Kazaki, or I don't know what you call them or whatever. They're all the same to you, Jack. We all know about
people, you. People from Kazakhstan. Kazakh. That's what Golovkin is. He's from Kazakhstan.
So what's the plural of Kazakh?
What do you mean plural? If you're from Kazakhstan, the nationality you are is. I think it's Kazakh. Let me look up. It'll say, like, I'm just gonna look up Gennady Golovkin and it'll say what nationality.
Because let's say I have a bunch of people from Kazakhstan locked up in a boat.
Kazakhstani.
Oh, okay. So like Pakistani. Okay, yeah. If it ends with an N, then the plural ends with an I. See, that's what we do here at the BDA. We educate people, man. It's not all just about boxing. We're here. It's all about the children. Let's not forget about it, right, guys? It's about the children. You know, we gotta kids out there stay in school. BDA never finished school. I didn't graduate from high school. Look at me now.
And you guys make fun of me that I'm 16 in school. Now I get a chance to roast you. Thanks. You gave me some new roasting material.
No, but that's the American educational system. That one sucks. You gotta get out of there.
At least I go to
be honest with you, to be honest with you, Jack, you're 16 years old, but trust me, you're more educated than a good sort of 80% of people that attend our boxing events over here. Believe me.
Don't encourage
Thanks,
him, man.
Yeah, people say because I'm 16 I don't know anything. It's not like I'm 11 or something. I actually know boxing. Yeah.
Well, if you're on a boxing podcast, you know you're boxing.
We got Foul Pole Boxing in the chat room, and he's asking, you mean Golada? I forgot we had a Foul Pole. I can assume that you're from Poland? based on the name? Is it safe to assume that? We'll await his answer, and we'll see what he thinks of Galata. I mean, we all know...
He's the guy that hit Riddick Bowe low like 30 times.
Repeatedly, yeah. Bit of a psycho, that Galata. But he was good for a couple of years. He provided some good entertainment. What's the Beterbiev...
Okay, I'll be right back.
Somebody's asked... Jane Johnson is asking, what's the Beterbiev exclusive news? I don't know. Are there any exclusive news?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of interviews with him over the last few months. And I did an interview with him a few weeks ago. And he's looking to get a unification with Kovalev if he wins the belt. And obviously if Kovalev beats Shabransky, he wants that fight in Russia early next year.
Huh.
That'd be pretty big in Russia, huh?
Oh, yeah, man. That would be huge over there. Especially if Kovalev can look impressive in his next fight. By the way, Cameron, you said you've been doing interviews. You got a website or a YouTube channel or something that you want to plug?
I'll write for the WBC and I'll write for Fight News. That's
what
I write
really?
for.
Wait, you write for the WBC? Like, do they have a publication or something?
They don't have a publication, but I wrote. If you go to my Twitter, I wrote I documented Swiss Saw Rummer's live story, and they picked it up, and then they asked me if I wanted to write for them. So that's what happened.
Oh, nice, man.
You
Did they give you a
duck.
belt? Have they given you a belt yet? Oh, okay, we're all talking. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's I love doing it.
That's great, man. We're writing for the WBC. I wonder who's better, writing for the WBC, the WBA, or the IBF. I guess if you keep this up, you're gonna find out, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, WBA's not exactly got the best reputation, is it? So.
Well, all right, man. So good, man. You've been interviewing Beterbiev. He really wants that fight against Kovalev. How do you guys see that fight going?
Yeah.
How do you guys see that fight going?
How do I see that fight going?
Yeah.
Well, see, I said I was speaking to somebody about this last week. You really have to see what Kovalev has got kind of at this point against Shabransky, whether he still has that. I interviewed Kovalev last week as well, and he told me that he wants to unify the division as well. So if he's still got the hunger and he hasn't lost anything mentally, and he's still the same Kovalev against Shabransky, I think that fight is whoever lands first. Let's be honest, Beterbiev and Kovalev, because it's a harder puncher, but Kovalev he's got the more experience. I think he's more rounded, so I think it's whoever lands first in that fight. Beterbiev's just he just runs forward and he bulldozes fighters, whereas Kovalev's a bit more beyond the jab. He's a bit more technical, so it'd be interesting to see that fight.
That good points. Guys, anybody else want to jump in there? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. See how he looks this time, because somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking that Kovalev was pretty big on meldonium, and maybe that might have hurt him. That's why he wasn't as good against Kovalev as he should have been, and that's why he gassed out so quick.
I got something to say.
But that was just maybe a hunch. I'm not saying he was on it.
BDA, I got something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you guys know all the name of these steroids? Like last night on my podcast when you were on with Vic, he knew he was talking about all these steroids and names. I'm like, how do you guys know this stuff? Just call it PEDs. Like, Jesus.
Well, if we want to get technical, like he said...
meldonium wasn't... That's not a steroid.
I don't know what that is.
Well, Victor said that it's not really...
It helps with your... it just helps your endurance, right? It's kind of like...
it's like a booster or something,
like stamina, right? More or less.
Adrenaline?
Not necessarily adrenaline. It's just something to kind of keep your stamina going, you know? It's not like a steroid or anything, but...
Doesn't help with your blood pressure, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should, man, if you're fighting a guy like Beterbiev next. Yeah, man, because look, Beterbiev, like you guys mentioned, he's a come-forward type fighter, very powerful, very strong. Kovalev, though, I mean, we've talked with some people here in the panel the last couple of weeks, and we've brought this potential fight up, and a lot of people seem to think that Kovalev's style is tailor-made for Beterbiev. In other words, Beterbiev has a very good chances of beating Kovalev because Kovalev can't handle the pressure, and John David Jackson, as you all know, said that supposedly Kovalev can't handle body shots in training. You know, he was complaining about him. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys take that into account? Do you factor that into a potential matchup?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not really weak to the body, but he's weak to the balls, as we saw against
Yeah,
Ward.
who isn't?
I agree.
Yeah, but any punch, you know what I mean? If you're taking, 3 low blows off Ward, I think any of us here would be dropping to the floor.
Well, speak for yourself,
I mean,
man.
those were no question. I mean, those were low, but they weren't as low as they could be. You know what I mean? They were a little bit below borderline, but they're still hitting him. They weren't like a full-on low blow like Andrew Galata, but still, getting hit with those would hurt.
Still, didn't you guys find that Andrew Ward's body shots in the first fight did slow Kovalev down?
Well,
100%.
Well, Ward still lost that fight, in my opinion. Well, everyone knew he lost that fight, and the only the highest you can give Ward, well, the people in the LDBC give Ward is like 114, 113. They're like, Kovalev didn't win. Are you serious? I'm like, dude, yeah, he did.
No, I can't see how Ward won the first fight.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so that's okay, but that then again, the point still stands. Ward was able to weaken Kovalev to the body, and Kovalev did not like it, man. He was holding on. He was holding on for dear life. So I have to wonder how he would handle Beterbiev's pressure. I mean, I know Beterbiev's not as fast as Andrew Ward. He wouldn't be able to close the distance as fast as Ward, I don't think. But still, he's stronger, hits harder. I don't know, man. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Beterbiev is very effective with his footwork. Like, he's not the fastest fighter. He doesn't move quick, but he hunts you down. His footwork's underrated, and that's he cuts the ring off a lot better than people think. And that's why he's able to pin these opponents down and just take them out. I mean, I'm unsure. I mean, Kovalev, would he be able to put Beterbiev on the back foot? Because Beterbiev just all he knows is coming forward, whereas Kovalev, like you said, we've seen that. And he's on the back foot, and he struggles when he's in that position. So I want to see that fight. It's one of the best fights to be made next year, as long as they both win the next fights.
Yeah.
By the way, BDA, your Christmas thing is really awesome.
Thanks, man. All credit goes to King Bucho. He's the one that came up with the design and everything.
Nice, Bucho. That's pretty cool.
When he's not drunk, he can come up with some pretty good designs, man.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Kovalev Beterbiev. Cameron, you're right, man. We were showing some clips of Beterbiev's amateur fight against Usyk, and he was showing some pretty good footwork, man. In and out movement, he's not just a stationary guy. So he definitely has skills, man. That's why I want to see him being tested by the best at light heavyweight.
Yeah, he was tagging Usyk in that fight as well. Usyk was some big shots in that fight.
Yeah, we didn't show the whole fight because we don't really have time. But what we saw, man, we liked. And I'm looking at the light heavyweight landscape here. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. Oh, wait, hold on, that's not it. Yeah, I'm going to show you some of that. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody was going to speak?
The division is stacked.
Absolutely, man. I think it was Ray that mentioned that there should be a tournament of some sort, man. That would be, forget the super middleweight tournament, forget the cruiserweight tournament. This is what the division where we really need a tournament in this one to determine who the best is.
Yeah, I don't know why they wanted this 168 tournament. That's gotta be like I don't know. That's one of the most boring divisions out there right now, I think.
I think they kind of done it because they did the first one, didn't they? The Super 6. I think they kind of wanted to replicate that, but super middleweight's so weak. There was really no need to do it.
Yeah, but they did it anyway, man. I mean, light heavyweight's more complicated because you have different... I don't know, I guess the promoters there aren't willing to work with each other, but there you see the Ring magazine ratings. And look at this division, man. Jam-packed. We still have Joe Smith Jr., Marcus Brown, Badu Jack, Sullivan, Barrera, Bivol, Beterbiev, Gvozdyk, who is, I think, really the guy to watch. Alvarez, Kovalev, Stevenson. And there's even somebody else. I mean, Chilemba. You still have Chilemba. Fonfara, who's got a weak chin, but he still has good skills. I mean, come on, man. If this isn't the best division in boxing. Go ahead.
Even you got Lloyder Alvarez, who's still chasing that WBC title, which is he's still trying to get Stevenson. There was rumours that he was fighting Badu Jack. That's not actually done yet. Alvarez still wants that belt, so Stevenson may lose that belt if Lloyder Alvarez doesn't accept the step aside again. And Mark Ramsey, his trainer, told me that aside for that fight. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
how many step-asides can a guy be given, though? I don't understand. Hasn't this fight been supposedly on for 2 years or something?
Yeah, it was almost 2 years now. He stepped aside to fight Bute, and that was Pascal, wasn't it? That Alvarez beat in the last fight, not Bute. And yeah, he stepped aside to fight Pascal, whilst Stevenson fought a pointless rematch with Fonfara.
So what's actually in store for Stevenson then? Like, what's the fight that he's looking for?
I'll Badu Jack, but
okay.
Obviously they need Alvarez to step aside again, and obviously he's saying no. So either Stevenson fights Alvarez or he's going to lose the belt. Because Eleider Alvarez, he's been offered $1 million to step aside and to take another fight in the interim, and he'll get $1 million for that fight, or he will only get I think it's $250K if he fights Stevenson straight away. So he needs to make a decision.
Huh. Then again, if they make that fight in Quebec, he would only get $250K for a big fight in Quebec.
Yeah, I'm unsure if it was exactly $250K, but it was a lot less than the $1 million he was offered if he took an interim fight, then fought Stevenson.
All right, so what would you guys do? Would you take the mill and fight somebody else and wait for Stevenson to take care of Badu Jack, or would you want your title shot right away?
Well, I don't think Stevenson will beat Jack.
No, I'd fight Stevenson now, because Alvarez, you can't exactly keep waiting and waiting. I mean, he's no spring chicken himself.
If only Low Place was here.
Yeah, but you got to look at the money aspect. And you're paying $250,000, and then how much is he gonna have to pay in sanctioning fees on top of that? I mean, he ain't gonna walk away with shit. Probably 150K.
Saying he wants the title, though. You never know. He definitely wants to become world champion, so it might mean more to him than the money at this point.
It's gonna be a hard decision, man. I remember when Juan Lozcano back in 2004, he'd been offered, I think, $1 million for a Mayweather fight, but he was the number 2, I think, number 2 or number 3 lightweight in the world. So he decided to take on Jose Luis Castillo for the linear lightweight championship, and he ended up losing. And so the question was, did he make the right choice? I mean, he tried to go for the actual title, but he lost on $1 million payday, and he went on to lose the fight against Castillo. So it's a risk, man. It's definitely a risk right there. It's a big risk because, look, if he should beat Stevenson, now he has more leverage because he could actually be considered the legit champ in the division. On the other hand, let's say he gets knocked out cold by Stevenson, he goes back to the drawing board and has to start all over again. I mean, it's a complicated
Talking about Jack or Alvarez?
Well, Adonis Stevenson is #1 pound for pound in the world. So
would you stop at Low Place isn't here to defend himself, man? Yeah, because we have a panelist named Low Place who comes up with some eccentric opinions, but he can back him up. I mean, he's got a rationale behind them. Now, you might not agree with his rationale.
He can't back him up.
Yeah, I don't think they're good enough.
I remember, I know him. He was giving me hate tweets on Twitter because I said something bad about Stevenson. I think it's the same Low Place.
I believe we sent him an invite today, but I guess he must be watching the Liam Smith fight or something. I don't know, but he's not here right now.
He's watching Billy Joe's training camp or something.
Yeah, he's the one, because he said to me when I was interviewing Kovalev, I put up a tweet saying I'm going to interview Kovalev. Then he replied saying, "Can you ask him when he's going to stop avoiding Adonis?" or something like that. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wait, I mean, as a reporter, do you try to stay away from all this drama outside of the ring drama, or do you actually relish that because it will get you more, it'll get your stuff more views?
Yeah, I just ask the questions that I feel people want to know, if you know what I mean. If people want to know, what Kovalev's intentions are, whether or not he's going to unify and all this stuff, I tried to get as much information out of him as possible, and then I thought I did that. So, is there anything that kind of people want to hear, I'll ask him, because at the end of the day, if you're a reporter, you've got to go into him as a fan as well if you get me, so you kind of got to know what you'd want to hear if somebody else was interviewing him, so you just kind of got to go with that.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, man. Now, how long have you been writing for or involved in the boxing? Not even just as a professional, but as a boxing fan. How long have you been following boxing?
Oh, well, I'm 22 years old now, and I've been following it since I was 13. Okay,
so let me ask you this. I think this is what everybody wants to know. How do you feel about women now using YouTube to, really get on to the boxing bandwagon and using that to start their own YouTube channels and interviewing fighters, knowing that, You know, since they're women and you know, they put on a little makeup, they show a little cleavage, bada bing, bada boom, and they're in. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm actually friends with a few of them, so when they've started out and they've asked me, you know, what, you know, any advice and all that, I like it, but
well, I'm sure you
obviously, of course I do. Who wouldn't? But, I mean, you've got some established. I mean, you got Michelle Phelps, who's obviously
Michelle Phelps, yuck.
She's obviously the kind of catalyst, and she's obviously now working with World Boxing Super Series, and obviously she's getting big. Let's be honest, you know what I mean.
She's attractive, but she's stupid when she interviews the fighters.
Oh.
Like she talked to Lomachenko, who just learned some English, like a million questions, like in English, like a long paragraph in a question. And he was like, I need the Russian translator. It's like, and then she did the same thing with Golovkin, and Golovkin didn't even know what she's talking about. When it comes to like fighters that can't really, you know, speak English properly, she needs to learn how to like ask them a question.
Sounds to me that somebody's a little jealous.
I mean, you've already got to be careful what I'm saying here, but you know, of course, being a good-looking woman is going to generate more following if you're a male starting out.
You don't say.
It definitely plays a part. You know what I'm saying? But there's some really good ones. I know a few of them are that there's a few women coming through now who are doing their own channels, they're doing it off their own back, they're going to these fights. They are legit good. You know what I mean? They're not the same robotic sort of interviews that you get. They're good. You know, they're passionate boxing fans. And a lot of women actually do know their stuff. So
yeah, obviously, just because you're a woman, that doesn't mean you don't know about boxing. But you know,
no, of course, no.
The thing that I most enjoy when I watch their videos is the comment section, because no matter how good they are, no matter how many good questions they ask or how on point they might be, the comment sections always come back to one thing, and that is, oh, I can tell that the boxer wanted to fuck her, or I can tell that she wanted the dick. She wanted that big long dick.
Golovkin, like in one of the Golovkin interviews, interviewer in the comment section, top comment was like, Golovkin be like, yes, I need big drama show after interview in my bedroom, please. I will make you a good girl, or something like that.
Yeah, man. Boxing
Do you remember
fans...
I don't know if you've seen it, but when Michelle Phelps interviewed Keith Thurman and he was talking about, you know, his late trainer passed away and she was rubbing his leg. The comments in that video were hilarious.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that. Hold on, man. Yeah, I think that when he was crying, right? When he was crying,
yeah, she was kind of rubbing his leg, sort of comforting him, and the comments were they were classic.
So now we know what, if you want her to rub your leg, all you gotta do is cry, and she'll get right on that. Wait, hold on. What was that? Keith Thurman? What should I write for that one? Keith Thurman, Michelle Joy Phelps?
Keith Thurman. Yeah, if you just type in Keith Thurman, I can't remember the top, but
I'll send you a link, BDA. I'll send you a link right now at the video. I'll send you a link, BDA.
Well, I'm looking for it, so... Oh, I already found it. Alright, hold on.
She kind of, like, he obviously starts... You know, because obviously he's very emotional about his late trainer, Bengetti, always has been. And she kind of comforts him, and of course, you're going to get people in the comments kind of blowing that out of proportion, so...
Yeah, that's a low blow, by the way. Constantly bringing up his dead trainer. I mean, you know that's going to get him going. Yeah. He's going to start crying. Well, could somebody
please just...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that was leading up to the Sean Porter fight as well, so... I think it was pretty close to that fight. It might have been Porter, or it might have been... Who did he fight before that? Was it Robert Guerrero before he fought Porter?
I think it was Colasso.
Or was it Colasso?
Yeah, I think it was Colasso.
One, yeah.
I'm looking for the part where he's crying. I can't find it.
It's about a 30-minute long interview, I think.
Yeah, this
4 minutes 57 seconds. I'm looking in the don't know. It's like 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
All right, thanks, Jack.
30-minute interview. That's getting Barbara Walters type shit.
Yeah, that's an expose, man.
She broke him down, dude.
All right, let's see. First of all, I see no rubbing of the leg, or at least I haven't seen it yet. Let's see. Let's.
She was rubbing his arm.
She definitely does it. She definitely does it. I think it's either his leg or his arm.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
It's
making me emotional.
I don't know if I can ever.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the fucking sad music and shit.
Who put the music up? Wait, why is there music?
If I'm Keith Thurman, I'm sat there and she's doing that.
Why is there music in the video, man? Listen to it carefully. Somebody put in like a piano track or something.
Will ever be able to accept. part
Michelle
of it
Joy
is
Phelps
just
put
because
in the
of the
piano pack because it's on her channel.
Yeah, somebody
Let's
put
just hope she's not watching this. Let's just hope she's not watching this.
Okay, let's see. Let's look at the comments. Keith Thurman is a good guy. Okay, that sounds funny. Look at that. Somebody asked, was the background piano music necessary though? Yeah, that's kind of hacky, man. Like, you don't need to put in some music, man.
She might have deleted some of the comments, mind. I mean, this was a long time ago. That
well, look at this comment. When he started crying, Michelle was when he started crying, Michelle was thinking, yes, views, money. So yeah, guys, check that video out and see if you can find some good comments. If you can find some good comments, bring them up, man, because we always enjoy a good hearty laugh here at the BDA.
And to Michelle Phelps, if you're listening, you're welcome. I'm bringing you some publicity to your channel.
Yeah, like she needs it, right?
Well, yeah.
No, she doesn't need publicity. She's doing fantastic, man.
Yeah, she's just been hired by World Boxing Super Series to do the so.
Well, which is the one that works for Top Rank?
Oh, that's Christina Poncha.
Okay, see, I get them all mixed up all the time, man.
Yeah, but she's good. She's the best one by far.
No, Cynthia Conte is the best one.
Why would you say, like, best looking or best?
Yeah, she's up there. She's up there.
But best at what? Like, best looking, are you saying, or best?
Pound for pound, best in the world at everything.
Jesus
pound
Christ!
For pound, best commentator.
Everything.
Yeah, moves, face.
We've gotten off topic here.
Pound for pound for everything. I need to take her out for a test run to see if she's really good at some of the things that she needs to be good at. Let me tell you that much right now. All right, somebody's sending me a message.
You might want to clarify what you mean by that.
Well, hold on.
Some people get a bit confused.
Let's see what the people in the chat room are saying. Reversely is saying typical women, and then King Butcher says.
Reversely's also saying sucking. That's what Reversely said.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Why are we talking about a woman? We are going off topic. Now we're exactly on the topic we need to be, man. I get this.
Hashtag pounds this comment section.
Actually, I was gonna ask, since you said you work for the WBC, maybe you can tell us how Roman Stivern got a mandatory shot.
Man,
deserving it at all.
I mean, listen, I talked to Mauricio Cinnamon and Jose Cinnamon and all that, and that's the one thing I did not ask. I did not ever ask, why is Romain Stivern mandatory?
Because Don King was involved?
Yeah, well, yeah. I've got no comment, but, you can assume that.
Hey, what happened to?
I mean, to be honest, it was a terrible performance. The performance.
He threw 4 punches the whole fight.
That's still a performance to some degree, but I will say, how the fight ended up really justified everybody's opinions on saying why is he mandatory. Let's be fair. Everybody expected Wilder to blow him out. Probably not that quick. Mm-hmm. But as soon as Romain Stivern stepped on them scales, you just knew what was coming.
Yeah, he lost the fight mentally before it started.
Who have you got now? You've got Dylan White ranked #1 now with the WBC. Looks like he's going to be in the next eliminator.
Well, that's
mandatory. Brazil, it might be Brazil.
Oh, Brazil! Can somebody just please tell that guy to either sharpen up or stop looking for a big fight, man? He needs to.
He's actually got 2. He beat Ngannou, the undefeated prospect, before he beat Molina. So he's got better wins than a lot of the people in the top 15. What needs to happen in the heavyweight division is, and
he has better wins than Deontay.
Well, yeah, I said this the other day on Twitter that these champions, Joshua, Wilder, Parker, they need to fight each other and just let these other guys just let these other guys get 2 or 3 wins against each other and just build up a contender rather than just throwing them in with 1 win over Eric Molina, because you're not going to get anywhere with these mandatories. They're not going to be deserving of it until they get 2 or 3 wins.
They keep throwing in the same guys, and I'll be honest with you. I think the heavyweight division is extremely weak. Tyson Fury would have beat the shit out of everyone. But I think that Tyson Fury's gone. But even right now, Joshua is probably the best, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win. Unfortunately,
they're talking about Dominic Brazil against Charles Martin next. That's what they're talking about.
What? Charles Martin's still alive?
Dominic Brazil would beat the shit out of Charles Martin.
Yeah, I mean, what's Martin done other than beat an injured Vlasov Glasgow for a vacant title? I mean, it wasn't really even a fight. So
yeah, Martin.
Well, he does walk this earth like a god. He does that.
I mean,
yeah,
Charles Martin did the same thing against Anthony Joshua that Bermain just did against Deontay. He just showed up for a check.
At least Charles Martin actually got into the second round, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, once he got hit, any idea of him winning just was gone. He gave up right then and there.
Can Tyson Fury come back? Can Tyson Fury come back and actually regain half the form that he had pre-retirement, or is he just too fat now?
I think he can. He's still in his 20s. I mean, he can, but I don't know if he'll be as good. But I think he can still muster up enough to beat anybody in the division if he really wants to. But whether he can mentally do it, that's another story.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to say. I mean, I hope he has a 1 or 2 warm-up fights rather than jumping into a big fight. I think he will, because I think it'd be a terrible idea for him to kind of just jump straight in with Joshua and he turns up shot and he gets knocked out in a few rounds. You know what I mean? You want to see what Fury's got before he jumps in with a Wilder or Joshua.
Mm-hmm. You guys think he's crazy enough to just try to jump into it right away, like into a big fight?
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think he's obviously mentally ill?
Yeah. I mean, if he's doing it for the money, he will do that. Just to kind of regain what he had, he will take a few warm-up fights.
Yeah, I don't think he's in it for the money. I mean, because if he really was, he'd have just showed up to the second Klitschko fight to just get a check and then call it a day. I mean, obviously, he just had mental shit going on.
He didn't make the amount of money in the Klitschko fight to kind of set him up for life. You know what I mean? He didn't make that much in that fight.
Oh, I had assumed that he had made a lot of money for that one.
Oh, of course he did.
He would have in the rematch, though.
Yeah, he would have made a lot more in the rematch.
Now, that's the thing about Tyson Fury. Does he actually live the gypsy lifestyle, or is that actually all just a front?
Yes, yes.
Well, how do you know?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah,
you see him walking around, he wears the same sort of clothes that he did before he even hit the big time. He's not into spending money and living the glamour life.
Okay, so he's not actually spending a lot of money then, if he's living in a caravan and traveling.
If he was on cocaine, that's a fucking expensive-ass drug.
That's true. That is true. Believe me, I know all about it, man. And yeah, man, if Pure Fury actually is spending all his money on coke, but now that's the thing. What's the lowdown on that also is that he actually thought that Klitschko was a Satan worshipper, wasn't he?
I don't know about that.
Tyson Fury.
Say that again. I missed that.
I can see it. I can definitely see it.
No, because prior to the Klitschko fight, Tyson Fury was saying that Klitschko was a Satan worshipper, and that he was a warrior of God, and that this wasn't just a fight for the heavyweight championship; it was a fight between good and evil, something along those lines. He said, "Don't quote me on that," but he definitely seems. I don't know if he's putting on a show, or if he actually believes some of the things he says, man.
He probably does. I can tell the dude's like insane.
And that makes it even more dangerous in the ring, man, because the guy just doesn't care then. Like, he doesn't care about the heavyweight title.
Dude, all he did, he ran from Klitschko.
What'd you say?
He ran from Klitschko.
Actually, he gave Klitschko a taste of his own medicine, man, with the feints and the clinching. Actually, Klitschko was clinching more in that fight, I thought. I don't know. What do you guys think? Who was doing the clinching in the fight?
I stopped watching it after the 8th round. It was so boring.
Yeah, Fury's style was just... The thing is, people keep comparing Joshua's win and Fury's win over Klitschko and kind of comparing it. I mean, they're two different styles. I mean, you look at Fury, style-wise, he was really a bad matchup for Klitschko, whereas Joshua is very stationary. He can be hit easy. And that's why Klitschko looked good in that fight. I mean, people say Klitschko was he looked old. He was definitely on the slide. I thought he looked, I don't know about you, but obviously I thought he looked like he was sliding against Jennings a bit. I think it was pretty obvious in that fight he was slipping. And in the Fury fight, obviously he got beat. Joshua, Klitschko was obviously past it. He was obviously past his prime, but Joshua was so tailor-made for him. I mean, Klitschko's made a career out of kind of demolishing guys that stand in front of him and are fairly one-dimensional. That's what Joshua is, and I think people kind of overlook that, the fact that Joshua was so tailor-made for him, and Fury was just a nightmare for him. I think Fury and Joshua's wins were both great, but obviously a lot of people are going to enjoy the Joshua's win more because obviously it was an action-packed fight, is what you want to see in heavyweight. But Fury, it was sloppy, it was messy, but what he done was effective, and I thought they were both good wins.
Absolutely, man. I thought Fury's approach was a little more sophisticated. He didn't get tagged, he didn't get dropped, he didn't look exhausted like Joshua did in a couple of rounds for that fight. But, so I think, and that's the other thing. 2 weeks ago, we saw Joshua struggle a little bit more than he should have, or than most people expected against the Cam. And I got to wonder how Tyson Fury would have looked against him, because Tyson Fury rolls with the shots. He's got a lot of feints. He knows what he's doing in there. He doesn't have the punching power.
He's got a glass chin now.
Why? Because he got dropped by Cunningham?
Yeah, and that's a cruiserweight. And Fury's a pretty big heavyweight.
I don't know, guys. What do you think about that?
Well, Tyson Fury wasn't Fury in his corner for that fight, and then Fury, and he was way off it. He wasn't the same Fury. He wasn't as defensively responsible in that fight as he usually is. And Steve Cunningham at the time, obviously, you look at Steve Cunningham's, he's well past it now, but even then he was still quick. He was bringing that speed up and.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but BDA, I'll show the link that I just sent you of Cunningham dropping Fury. Yeah, sorry, fight. You can go.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I remember, Fury, he caught Fury with overhand right. I mean, Cunningham is, he's got the speed from cruiserweight, and Cunningham's no mug. I mean, this was 4 years ago. I mean, Cunningham still kind of had something back then. And it was just a knockdown win. I mean, everybody it's heavyweight boxing. They're going to get put down. I mean, Fury,
unless you're Golovkin.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you've got an iron chin. I mean, literally an iron chin, not Golovkin. But, in heavyweight boxing, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, Cameron, that it's Fury got dropped because he wasn't expecting anything big. But when he finally fought Klitschko and he was on his game and he was on, looking out for that big shot, he hardly got hit in that fight. And in the times where he did get hit, he didn't even get wobbled. So I don't think his chin is as bad as you say, Jack.
No, he only got hurt. He got Klitschko landed straight right hands on Fury in the last few rounds, but Fury was getting tired at that point. It wasn't because he was getting hurt.
That's right. I think Tyson Fury, man, he's really insane. I really loved prior to the rematch when they were doing the face-off with him and Klitschko, and he was getting inside Klitschko's head, man, because Klitschko comes in, he's got a PhD. He seems more sophisticated than the majority of boxers. So I think in his mind, he sees himself as superior, both in terms of athleticism and intellect, than these guys. So then comes along Tyson Fury, and you can see there's a lot of things that are fake about Klitschko. The facial expression, the way he talks. I don't know. That's what the feeling I get from him. And so when he was going face to face with Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury's playing on a whole other level. He's not playing by the rules. He makes up his own rules, and he was telling Klitschko, I don't care about the heavyweight title. If I lose it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't, I didn't get the feeling that he was bluffing.
Like, I couldn't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about me, to be honest. I care about beating you.
Yeah, he's not bluffing, man. The guy really is all over the place. So I think that's what set Klitschko off. Like, he couldn't control the guy. He couldn't put him inside a box or inside a parameter. And it's just, it threw him off for a loop, man. So I think Tyson Fury, that's why he's dangerous, man, because he's just all over the place, man. I don't know.
You can tell as well, Joshua wrote a tweet about Fury the other day, telling him to get fit, you fat fuck. The thing is, this is the second time now that Joshua's wrote a tweet after Fury said something. I think Fury legitimately gets inside Joshua's head. Like, I think Fury legitimately does get to Joshua. Because Joshua doesn't react like that to anybody else.
Huh.
I think Joshua knows that, he wants Fury back because he knows he has to beat Fury to really establish himself as the best, because Fury's just shadowing his entire division, even though he's out. He needs to come back for these other guys, Wilder and Joshua, to kind of say, we beat him, we're the man, because otherwise Fury's just going to keep having that shadow over it. And that's what he's doing. That's why he keeps talking, because Fury knows that he can sell all this. He's got the Ring Magazine title. He's just that cloud over the top of them two, and I think that's why they're like this. That's why they react.
are you making joke puns about Fury's weight? Because you keep saying he's got a big shadow, a big cloud. Are you saying he's a fatso?
His presence is his verbals are and his presence of being a ring champion. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I was kidding, but yeah, you're right, man. But first of all, King Bucho told me that he thought that the tweet from Joshua was fake. He thought somebody had hacked into his Twitter account.
No, he didn't get hacked. No, he didn't get hacked.
So you're right. Then Fury did get to him then.
Yeah, Joshua. He wrote one about Wilder and Parker as well, I think.
So the guys.
There was a Fury one that kind of got the attention, wasn't it? He said, "Get fit, you fat fuck." So.
Well, dude, no. I think Tyson Fury, like, there's certain people on Twitter that will piss me off. Well, I know that's Twitter, but still, Tyson Fury is just an annoying. I mean, if I was like, dude, if I was in the ring, I'd put fucking plaster in my wraps if I was like a pro heavyweight just to beat the shit out of him. No, like, I honestly hate Tyson Fury, but I can tell that he's getting under Joshua because Joshua's always really been a gentleman in the ring and never really talked like that. But like going on Joshua's Twitter right now, he talked trash to a little bit to like dude, yeah.
Has he deleted them tweets? Has he deleted them or has he kept them up?
He's kept them up.
I think his Twitter account got hacked.
No, he said to Kugan Cassius.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a Fury. Jesus Christ, sorry. I don't think that's Joshua's account. I think he got hacked.
Joshua would have said if he got hacked.
No, it was definitely him. If it was hacked, he would have deleted him by now.
Holy shit! All right.
Has he tweeted since then?
Yeah, he's done Illuminate the Room on November 10th, and that was him hanging out with friends, and him playing volleyball. And
he didn't get hacked.
The Kugan Cassius one was so funny because did you see the Kugan Cassius interview with Anthony Joshua?
I didn't see the interview, but I saw the tweet after where he said, "Shut the fuck up," didn't he, or something like that?
No. He said Kugan Cassius interviewed him in the morning, where Joshua was kind of cursing, getting angry at Tyson Fury, and then Kugan Cassius tweeted the real Anthony Joshua this morning, laughing face, and Anthony Joshua quoted the tweet saying, "The real Anthony Joshua because of question mark a swear word. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I like AJ. But dude,
I've seen you on Twitter actually.
Yeah, what's your Twitter?
At Cameron Gillen _
Cameron. Okay. And. Yeah, dude, I've seen you. What's up, man?
Yeah, so I've seen you as well.
Yeah, it says 18 followers. I know. I just followed you.
I'll follow you back when I get on it.
Well, there you go.
All right, cool.
Here at BDA, bringing people together, forming a community.
I wouldn't be on here if it wasn't for Twitter. Twitter boxing, like the Twitter boxing communities, like there's a lot of nice people on there.
I can imagine it can get a little restless though, no? Because everybody has an opinion. Some, or I would say that the majority are aren't well thought out. Don't you get a lot of crap when you're on Twitter?
It can't be as bad as boxing scenes forums.
Who, me? Do I get crap on Twitter?
No, he said boxing scene. Yeah, boxing scene's a whole other...
That can't be as bad. Nothing can be as bad as that place.
Nowadays, because obviously I do a lot of interviews and stuff, like you just scroll down my timeline, I get quite a lot of shares and a lot of people interact, but I usually just kind of, I've got to a point now where I just kind of ignore any hateful comments, you know what I mean? I just kind of think profiles and I kind of see their comments and I kind of realise that they really don't know anything about boxing, so I'm not going to entertain them. So I mean, if you're spending your time on Twitter every day hating, I can't imagine what you're doing in your own time.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Nietzsche quote, where if you stare into the abyss, you become it, or something like that. So you definitely, man, you gotta I don't know, divide your time, or you can't spend too much time. That's my thing. I can't spend too much time on reading comments and on the forums and all that, because it just starts to melt your mind, man. It's really it's diabolic, I would say. I don't know how else to put it, man. But yeah, boxing scene. Whoo. You know, we could go on.
Never use their forums.
Yeah, their forums are. I mean, their website. It's a great news source, but it's terrible as far as the advertisements and stuff that they put in there. There's I've caught it numerous times of malicious software being tried to install on my computer. Even when having AdBlock Plus, it still gets through sometimes. But their forums are the worst. It's everything. Everybody is completely one-sided. It's either pro Canelo, pro Golovkin, and it's just people just flaming each other back and forth.
On YouTube, you'll see occasional like in between stuff. Like I saw on the top 10 reasons Gennady Golovkin beats Canelo by Boxing Legends TV, and one of the top comments was like, "Fuck picking a side. This is a great fight for boxing." So there'll be the occasional people like that, but that's usually rare.
Now, if you go on Ring TV, I think there's a limit of times you can post, I think, per article. Do I have that right, or?
Yeah,
I'm unsure.
Is okay, but you don't have that many people commenting on every article like you do with Boxing Scene. The smaller ones on Boxing Scene aren't bad, but if it's like a big name fighter, just stay away from it.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with that one, man. Man, people get like, for example, we did a video for where we were comparing Lomachenko's footwork with that of Rigondeaux, and it's a lot of comments. It's the Rigondeaux fans for the most part. First of all, if I give credit to Rigondeaux, people think that I'm biased, and then if I give credit to Lomachenko, people accuse me of being biased as well for Lomachenko. So you can't win. First of all, that's number one. So you gotta go in there thinking that right away. Otherwise, you go nuts. Second of all, it's mostly the Rigondeaux fans that seem to have a real hard-on for their fighter. In their mind, Rigondeaux can beat anybody, and his footwork is much better. They don't just say better. If they just wanted to say that the footwork is better than Lomachenko's, okay, I agree. But when they say that it's clearly levels above
started up
Lomachenko,
some controversy.
well, because you went too far, man. You went too far, and you said that he has the best footwork ever, which is
He does.
kind of an insane thing to say, man.
The problem is, there's a lot of people who who let their favoritism judge, a fight. I mean, you can go to a Lomachenko fan and say Rigondeaux's Cuban, and then a Lomachenko fan will be so biased they'll say no, Lomachenko's more Cuban than Rigondeaux. It's just the way it is.
Who says that?
It's just.
No,
I
but
don't
that's
like
what I'm saying. It's kind of like
Rigondeaux's boring. Rigondeaux's boring. That's why I don't like him. I like Lomachenko because he's entertaining and he's a good showboat and he's a great fighter. And we're gonna see on December 9th once he stops Rigondeaux around in like 3 rounds or so. We're gonna see.
The thing is, I mean, a lot of people I know are actually picking Rigondeaux to win that fight.
That's stupid.
Yeah, he's too small. It just
the size is too much.
He's just too small. Yeah, the size is going to overcome any skill.
I mean, you got to look at it though. I mean, Rigondeaux. I mean, this is at super featherweight. Rigondeaux moved to featherweight, and he fought. I mean, you got Russell, you got Selby. I struggle. I think Rigondeaux would do well at featherweight. To be honest with you, I think he should go to featherweight. I think he should end his career at featherweight. Because super bantamweight is a wasteland. I like what he's doing. I think it's a bit too late in his career to do what he's doing. I think he should have moved up, 2 or 3 years ago after he fought Donaire, and then he fought, as soon as he fought Amagata, so that sort of time, I think he should have moved up because he's getting old.
Yeah, his career's really stalled. He just hasn't been able to get good fights.
Yeah, and now he's moving up, which he should have done years ago.
I get the feeling that he's very. I mean, I've seen his interviews, and he seems to be arrogant, which is to be expected since he's so talented. He has to be so confident that it borders on arrogance. But I get the same feeling from a lot of his hardcore fans. As a general rule, the more you're a fan of somebody, the less of a true boxing fan you are. In the sense of, and let me explain this because I don't want to. I'm not saying that if you have favorites, you're not a boxing fan, but what I'm saying is...
Actually.
Yeah, you better not say that. You better not say that, BDA.
Yeah,
honestly, the worst fans are people that are... And I'm Mexican, but Mexican fans are the worst with showing favoritism towards Mexican fighters.
No, I would disagree. I think black fighters... I think black fighters are like... Black people are biased towards black fighters by far.
That too, but...
I mean, I don't have
I'd say both of them are just as bad.
There's a lot of Mexican fans
I don't have any favorite fight.
What'd you say?
I don't have any favorite fight. I was going to say I don't have any favorite fighters, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, because now I'm sort of writing and I do a lot of interviews, I can't really have any favorites. So not at least put out publicly, but there's a lot of fighters who have given me a lot of time, and I kind of I'm like, okay, I've got a lot of time for him. You know what I mean? I don't like seeing them lose, but I don't really sit here and think I'm going to pick him and kind of let my agenda. Say, for example, if Crawford fought Spence at one day at welterweight. I'm a fan of Terence Crawford and Spence. I'm not going to then let that kind of get in the way of me judging that fight in a realistic way, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of people do that. if they're a fan of a fighter, they'll lean to that fighter. They won't be able to speak down the middle, and it always goes wrong. That's what causes a lot of arguments on YouTube and Twitter and all that.
Well,
How did you score Triple G Canelo?
I had Triple G winning by 2 rounds.
Thank you.
It was 2.
I had him winning by. I had him. Go ahead. I had him winning by 4 rounds, I believe. I had it 10-2.
Yeah, I had Golovkin winning. I had no problem with a draw, but I had Golovkin winning. I thought the draw wasn't, like a massive, like a lot of people were saying it was a robbery. It wasn't a robbery. But I had Golovkin winning.
I think. You think 118, 110 was? What do you think they won? 118, 110.
What, to Canelo?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think Adelaide Bird should not be allowed in the sport again.
Well, she's already judged. Oh yeah, thanks for following back on Twitter, by the way. But yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. I hope she never. Well, I think she had like a crush on Canelo, because if you look into the fight, I was looking at it. She kept looking at Canelo the whole time. He didn't even like let her eyes off Canelo. I don't know why.
You cunt! What a cunt! I can't believe that.
No, I mean Golovkin could have knocked Canelo down 5 times in that fight, and Adelaide Bird would have scored at 118, 110.
Yeah, I think Golovkin's gonna win if Canelo has the balls to take the rematch, and I don't think it will happen because Canelo's pretty scared of Golovkin after being.
I think Golovkin. I think Golovkin's slipping. You don't see Golovkin going to the body as much as he used to. I think that I think Golovkin. We've seen the best of Golovkin. But the longer this fight, the rematch waits out, it's going to favour Canelo, because I think Golovkin, he's on the slide. Let's be honest. I think even any Triple G fan can say he's past his best days. He doesn't work the body as much as he used to.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit. It's like, who do you think? Who would everyone here? Who would pick? Prime Gennady Golovkin versus Prime, like the Golovkin against David Lemieux versus the Canelo, the best of Canelo. I think Golovkin by knockout.
Canelo already. Canelo's already in his prime.
Yeah, so I'd pick Golovkin by knockout.
What's Golovkin gonna do different though?
I mean, I don't know. He probably realizes that he can't let the fight go into the judge's hands, and he's gonna have to stop Canelo.
Why didn't he do it the first time, though?
Canelo can't, because he didn't think he needed to. Like Abel Sanchez said.
No, they knew that. They knew that when you fight Canelo in Las Vegas, you have to knock him out.
Canelo always has one judge.
I mean, you gotta be really fucking stupid to not know that. Like, and
Golovkin 118 to 110 for Golovkin, 114 to 114.
114, Canelo Mayweather.
117, 111
Canelo Mayweather.
Let me finish. 117, 111 for Lara, 119, 109 for Cotto. Shout out to De La Hoya. Am I right? Sorry, I just had to...
No, I mean,
yeah.
Didn't someone score Canelo winning all 12 rounds against Chavez?
I did.
On the judges.
I don't know.
You thought Canelo won every round?
One of the judges had it 120.
Chavez,
yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, I thought he won 120, 108. I kind of got bored in that fight. So I think some rounds...
No. A judge scored the Canelo Chavez fight, and like I can't remember what the score was, but they put a knockdown in Canelo's favor when he never knocked.
All judges scored at 120, 108 for Canelo in the Chavez Jr. fight.
Yeah, all judges had it 120, 108.
I think the only fight where Canelo's won a decision that. Who thought Lara beat Canelo? Anyone here?
I thought Canelo won.
I didn't think so. I think Canelo
won.
Yeah, good. Yeah. It does my head in when people say Lara won that fight.
Yeah, Canelo had just great body work in that fight.
How would you guys say Golovkin versus Lara? Because people think that Golovkin beat Canelo, and people think Lara beat.
No, Golovkin would have destroyed him in his prime. He would destroy him now.
Yeah. Okay.
Golovkin loves a mover. Golovkin loves a mover. Lara would just move backwards, and Golovkin would just hunt him down. I've never. Yeah, I mean, he made
Canelo run away, and we've never seen Canelo run before.
That's because Canelo, his footwork's poor. He doesn't know how to fight on the back foot.
Well, he's never.
He thought he was trying to do what Mayweather did to him. He's trying to do what Mayweather did to him.
He's never had to, because he's always fought little guys, so he's never had the need to back up.
And all the guys, what's so impressive about Golovkin is when he fought all the pressure guys, he'd usually beat the crap out of them. But Golovkin was beating up Canelo when he was coming forward.
I didn't get the impression
You
that he
still
was
haven't answered
beating
my question.
Canelo up.
What's Golovkin gonna do differently?
I did
He's
answer
gonna
your
come
question. I
forward.
said he's gonna realize that
He didn't do
can't
it
let
for a
him-
reason, though.
He didn't throw.
He can't. He won't knock Canelo out in a rematch.
No way.
He might knock him down. I think.
Nah, Canelo gets better. Canelo.
Oh my God! Not this dude. Mute him. Mute him. Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
whoa. Is this the low place that follows me on Twitter? And he
Yes,
said that
the dude that has
Stevenson.
Adonis Stevenson number 1. Yeah, low place talk.
Low place. I'm the one who you said was tweeting negatively about Stevenson.
About to turn into a boxing scene for him out here.
Well, you can have your opinion, but I just think Canelo. I think the only thing with him, he was much better than Triple G. He just doesn't have stamina. He could hit it Triple G with anything he wanted. It seemed like
Why
he just doesn't. He just does not have stamina to fight. He doesn't have to work that hard. He knows if it all goes wrong, all he has to do is stay on his feet.
Wait,
But
let's go to.
The fact was, it looked like he was just a more complete boxer from range, from just different places. It looked like more complete, but he just not a.
Okay, you must be blind,
fighter.
but one thing. Let's talk about how Kovalev ducked Stevenson.
But wait,
Apparently,
wait,
you're
wait,
blind,
hold on,
but
let's not jump from one subject to another. We got to establish something here.
I need to ask Low Place a question at some point.
Well, go ahead now. Does it involve Golovkin Canelo, or are we moving on to another subject?
No.
Ask Kovalev. Ask about Kovalev ducking Stevenson. That's what I'd ask about.
No, yeah, that's what I was going to ask him, but we'll do it. We'll do it after this. Golovkin.
Okay, but
yeah, dude, Golovkin landed much more shots. The jab, dude, Canelo literally moved back like 4 steps.
That's what I mean. The only time he had success is when Canelo seemed to be tired of whooping him in the pocket and elected to go backwards. And then
did you actually think Canelo won?
He was a close fight. I mean, like I said, I didn't go back and watch. I didn't go back and watch it again because it was a circus going into it, and I just felt like it's more important fights to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, Badu Jack versus Adonis Stevenson is the real pound for pound supremacy, right?
Well, you got a division where 160's been fought for, the lineal title's been fought for at 155. If you think that's the greatest thing in the world, then hey, it's a circus down there.
Let me say something here, Jack. Let me say something. Jack is really hold on.
Talking about lineal titles.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Jack is really obsessed with Low. Jack is very obsessed with your comment about Adonis Stevenson being #1 pound for pound. So Jack, just accept that that's his point of view and let it go. Like, you gotta keep bringing it up every 10 seconds. The guy, you're not gonna change his mind. You're not gonna change his mind.
I want to ask him.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
I just want to know, like, can Triple G be better in the pocket? If he can't be better in the pocket, then you have one look. Why can't you be better this time if you're so great? You know,
who is Adonis Stevenson?
Canelo's not an opponent that.
Let me ask you a question, Low Place. Right? I mean, Adonis Stevenson obviously, is #1 according to you. I mean, he's such a #1. He's such a #1 fighter in the world, right? That he got stripped of his Ring Magazine title despite fighting 3 times a year because he was fighting the likes of Sakio Beaker and Sikotsky. Can I
prove to you? Can I prove to you there's Agenda from Ring, which is owned by Golden Boy, a HBO company that we know, and a person that sued Al Heyman? Go look at the heavyweight ring title and look at the rules of how they're supposed to strip. Tyson Fury's still the ring champion today, and he's broke about 3 or 4 of those. No. Hold on. Don't fight facts here. Go look at the ring.
That is fact.
No. Hold on. You asked the question and now you're talking over. Hold on. Let me give you the work that you asked for. Tyson Fury basically got high, ducked the whole division. As far as I'm concerned, he broke rule after rule. Doesn't have a fight schedule of the rings, ways to get stripped. He broke rule after rule. Adonis Stevenson hadn't broke one at the time they stripped him. At the time that they stripped him,
Kovalev. I have a freaking ring. Wait a second.
No, you're right. You're right. It was one rule. You're right. It was one rule he broke, and it was pertaining fighting a top 10 ring ranked guy. But my issue with that is the ring.
2 years he didn't.
Hold on, whoa. My issue with that is the ring knew the fight that we wanted to see, which was Kovalev, and Kovalev had just ducked 2 purse bids to fight Adonis Stevenson that he agreed to. So they have no. You can't get out of that. He agreed to 2 purse bids.
Stevenson, even though talking about the Kovalev fight,
Okay.
Happened. Kovalev still went on to fight Jean Pascal.
Okay, all right. I don't care about that. I don't care about fighting around somebody to get. Whoa. You're trying to fight around the lineal title to get credit. That ain't how boxing works. You go be the man. You be like if Beterbiev wins and he go fights. Let's say. Beterbiev fights tonight. If he go win and he fight this unproven Bivol, right? And he said, "Oh, I'm the man. I'm like, well, there's a lineal champ. Go knock him out so I can celebrate with you the same way. I'm gonna do them just like I done Kovalev. So you need to be a better boxing fan. You can't fight around lineage when you have agreed to. He stepped inside. He stepped inside a negotiation. Him and Kathy Duva said, we are entering the WBC purse bid. We want it. And then they pulled out of it, and you're still a fan of them today. And I really wonder why. Because he fought a 50-year-old and a shot Pascal? But
it's okay for Adonis Stevenson to fight a super middleweight and Sergio Bika.
Understand. Kovalev was playing catch-up to his resume even when Pascal got in the ring. Dawson beat Bernard Hopkins, okay?
What's Stevenson done since then?
Okay, all right. He beat Tony Bellew, former cruiserweight champion. He beat 4 top 10 guys in a row. I don't need a continuance of what you've done since then. I know you're a proven fighter. Now it's time for other people to go knock you off. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you can't do that when you're fighting.
Okay, so what you're telling me right now is a guy can prove himself to you a year ago, and you know he's the top of the world. You know he's cream of the crop, and then you see him continually dominate whoever gets in front of him, and you have to put in the back of your mind that he's not any good because whatever reason. Why?
Yeah. Why?
You seen his skill set. You know what he can do, and now. You simply have to ask yourself this: if he's as bad as you think he is, or whatever the case may be, if you think he's the biggest bitch that you have seen, answer me this: why did Kovalev, Kathy Duva agree to enter an undisputed purse bid for every belt in the division? There wouldn't have been no stripping.
I got every belt. I got proof right here. Well, this isn't really proof, but the Ring magazine. Look, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Ring magazine, top 100 fighters in the world right now. Adonis Stevenson is ranked 27. Let me read you this. The rundown. Stevenson's champion reign as the lineal king was frustrating enough back when he ducked Sergey Kovalev. It has gotten worse. As you're a low place, just said you're like, his career in recent years has been marked by strung out paydays with a ridiculous minimal amount of risk. Things got so bad.
You're reading from an organization that I just proved stripped him, but they're not stripping a guy that actually deserves to be stripped. But you're reading from that organization. That's fine.
He didn't fight a top 5 opponent in 2 years. That's why he got stripped from the Ring magazine title.
Okay, so Tyson Fury has not had a fight in how
What's
many
that got
years?
to do with Stevenson?
No. Because we're pointing out a bias here. We're pointing out an issue here that you're refusing. You're taking him and you're holding him to a standard, but you're saying every other fighter, there's no issue. And Tyson Fury wasn't ducked by anyone. He wasn't ducked by Bernard Hopkins asking for 75% of the purse, even though he's the challenger that's traveling. Okay. He wasn't ducked by Sergey Kovalev or Anthony Joshua getting into a purse bid and then pulling out, but he's still your ring champion. See, you can't really play these games like that, man. If you want credibility, then be credible and do it for everyone. But
I understand why you won't let me talk, right? Because you need to defend Stevenson. But let me say one thing to you, right?
It's not.
When that fight, let's take away the Kovalev thing for a situation, right? There's been other fights in between. When they weren't fighting each other,
you're still going to be wrong. You're still going to be wrong if you try to.
You say you're not letting me talk. How do you know what I'm going to say?
There with me, you're still going to be wrong. I hate coming on here talking about Stevenson because you don't know. You're learning right now. You're not debating. You're learning. You can't tell me anything because I have the sources to it. Let me tell you.
Let him talk.
Well, hold on.
His promoter has come out and said
one at a time, guys. One at a time.
Any fighter. Anybody I brought to him, he's been willing to fight. He's negotiated with them fairly. I'm going to point out everybody that you point out.
No place.
Hold on.
Hold on.
That you point out, every name that you point out, I'm going to tell you what they did in the debates, not in the debates, but in the negotiations that they normally don't do. And I won't ever say anything what Stevenson normally doesn't do that he went and done because it didn't happen. They were over negotiating not to get the fights. Ain't my fault, brother.
Before anybody continues,
He ain't getting the fights.
Jeez, Luis.
He's the lineal champion.
Okay.
When a weak guy is the lineal champion, when you seen Canelo as food and GGG was like, man, that's food. I'm going for it. But when it ain't like that, it ain't money behind it, they'll fight around it.
Before anybody else continues, low please, hold on. Before anybody else continues, we need to keep some order here. So if somebody's talking, let them finish. Wait for a little pause and then step in, or I'll tell you. I'll tell you who can step in, because we can't be talking over each other, because low please was making some good points and people were trying to jump in. So let's.
He jumped in initially.
Well, go ahead. Okay,
right.
So.
What I'm going to say is, right, in the interim, when Stevenson fought Kovalev, when they were organising the fight, when they were negotiating the fight, when they weren't fighting, Kovalev went on and fought Jean Pascal twice. Stevenson, in that meantime, just because the Kovalev fight didn't happen, doesn't mean he then has to go on and fight Sakio Bika. You can't sit here and say, right, I beat Chad Dawson, I'm the man, so now I'm going to have it easy, I'm going to start fighting a super middleweight. And Hotsakotsi, when you're in a division stacked with top fighters, he hasn't fought a mandatory in 4 years. What the hell was that about? 4 years he hasn't fought a mandatory.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Low, please. Go ahead.
Now, let me see. This is a beef that everybody seems to have. Okay, Fun Fire. This where you're wrong. Dawson, Tavoris Cloud, top 5. Bellew, top 10, top 5 in certain rankings. Fun Fire, top 10, top 5 in certain rankings. He beat all of those. And then after that, who was it besides Kovalev and B-Hop was out the way? Tell me who it was then that you wanted Adonis Stevenson to fight. Please give me that name.
I'll give you what, in 2013 when he beat Dawson.
No. Hold on. No, let's go to the year. Let's go to the year specifically, because I want to know if you actually know the division. I don't want you to come bringing up people that are active and looking good today. Who did you want him to fight after the Funfara fight, besides the Funfara rematch? Stevenson had the chance to fight Hopkins and Pascal, and he turned him down. Oh, he turned him down. What year is this? He turned. Okay, so I got to hold on. I got to school you on this as well. So B-Hop, who agreed, who after Stevenson became the lineal light heavyweight champion, beating the man that B-Hop couldn't beat. Okay, B-Hop went to Fight Height and said, "I got my passport ready." Basically agreeing, I'm going to have to travel, not immediately after, but saying I got my passport ready, and he was saying I want to fight Stevenson. Okay, Stevenson gets into the negotiations after he left HBO because they didn't want to pay him to fight Kovalev. They didn't want to pay, and Showtime was willing to let him fight a unified champion. Good business decision if it goes out, but it didn't turn out right. Why? Because B-Hop went into negotiations demanding 75% of the purse split. He was willing to travel. He was not the lineal champion. Adonis Stevenson had just put 10,000 people in the damn seats in Montreal. He's a damn immigrant there. B-Hop can't put 10,000 damn people in the seats in his own damn country. Okay? Sometimes he don't even want to get played on the networks here. People don't show up. The only fight people showed up to him for was the one where he just got knocked out the ring because it was his farewell. And people was trying to say, "Oh, thank you for the effort," blah, blah, blah. He's done 40,000 pay-per-view buys over here before. He's not some 75%er. Kovalev didn't even get that low. He got like 35% of the split. So why are you coming at a guy that's more popular than Kovalev? This is not normal. That's what I'm saying. I look at these negotiations and I see you over-negotiating or doing things that you normally don't do. Guess what? You've changed up and you're ducking. Something made you change up, and it was Adonis Stevenson straight left hand, I believe. And him beating the guy you couldn't beat. How about that?
Who wants to reply to that?
Well, before I got interrupted, I'll give you one thing. Stevenson, in my opinion, when he beat Dawson, Cloud, and Bellew, I had him fighter of the year in 2013. And I can see why people say Stevenson's still the best, because he beat Dawson and he hasn't been beat. So I can see why people. I don't have favourite fighters. I don't have agendas, because if I did, I wouldn't be covering the sport. I just don't think that Stevenson's run, you can't beat Dawson, you can't then have a good sort of 1 year, and then for years after face guys like, if no one wanted to see the Fonfara rematch, nobody wanted to see Beaker, and then you've got other guys coming through. Stevenson, why can't he fight this division right now? Why isn't Stevenson fighting the likes of, if you've got in the rankings, he's not even fighting Alvarez yet. and Alvarez has been his mandatory for 2 years. If he beats an Alvarez or Badu Jack and he wins, then yeah, you know, he's got some leverage to say he's the best in the division. But whilst he's been fighting these guys, and you've had Kovalev fighting Ward, you've had him fight Pascal, you've got all these other guys fighting each other, proving themselves against the elite of the division, and Stevenson sat there picking guys off. How can you sit there and say, I'm the best in the division when you're fighting guys that nobody wants to see you fight?
Because you're supposed to go beat the man. He made himself the man, and what you have done was diluted boxing by telling people you can go fight somebody else except the man. That is my problem here. That's the initial problem. Oh, who
it's
was
easy
Ward?
to be the man.
Hold on. Who was Ward at 175? The guy that couldn't stop Elton Brand. Hold on. The guy that couldn't stop Elton Brand. Who would you rather get in the ring with? Andre Ward, who can't crack an egg or stop Elton Brand, or whatever the fuck the guy's name was, or would you rather get in there with Adonis Stevenson? This is the problem here. Kovalev made.
But more people wanted to see the Ward fight.
No, they didn't. We have been talking about Kovalev Stevenson as the best fight in boxing since potentially 2014. Ward came back on a race war agenda type thing when certain white fans said, no, you can't fight Triple G, but you can fight Kovalev. He took that to heart. He went up there and he fought, and he embarrassed himself, and Kovalev embarrassed himself in the ring at the same time. They shouldn't have never been in the ring together. They should have been fighting for all the belts in that division with Adonis Stevenson once or twice. See, you talk about the guys he's fought, but you don't say, hey, why did Joe Smith, a top 5 light heavyweight at the time, turn down a deal for Adonis to go to New York in his hometown? Why did they do that? Why did Alvarez turn down a deal in 2016 when his team told him, you're not ready. We want to see you versus more southpaws. Okay, why is he still trying to take step aside money instead of take the $150,000 that he was offered for the fight? Which he's
not trying to take step aside. He's not taking step aside. He doesn't want to take step aside money. He wants to fight next. Stevenson's the one saying we want to fight Badu Jack.
No, he's taking step aside money.
No, he's not.
Okay,
I've interviewed
my last
days ago. I spoke to him.
My last source says Al Heyman's willing to pay. Al Heyman's, if he doesn't, hey, hand clap. He finally grew some nuts. Okay, I've been telling them to do that. All right, I don't like people who leverage their mandatory position. I like mandatories like who did we see recently? Earl Spence. We saw Luke Campbell from the UK as a mandatory. They didn't leverage shit. They didn't say, let me think about it, I'll get back with you. They enforced their position. They got the shots. Champions rarely chase mandatories. They don't give you nothing. What is Alvarez there to give you? What is he there to give you? Nothing.
He's a legit opponent. He's a legit opponent.
Not true. Potentially, but Adonis already tried to give him a shot. And when you say, okay, you're my mandatory, we don't have to go to purse bid. Here's the deal, flat out, let's do it. And you turn it down, more than likely you just start turning your eye to him. Like, dude, fuck you. You messed my money up once. I don't have anything.
I'll say one thing, right? Because we can sit here all night, and obviously, you know, we don't want to do that. You obviously know your stuff.
I do.
You know, I mean, you do your research.
I do. It's one guy that I feel has been wronged in the sport of boxing, and he did nothing but beat the guy. He did what I respect people doing: fight the number one guy and beat them. And after that, after accomplishing that, being fighter of the year, being a popular fighter, he did nothing but go on and knock anybody out that was in front of him, and everybody else got a pass for not fighting him. They got credit.
Right, let me finish. Right. Let me finish. Right. You know your stuff. But I disagree with everything you're saying. One thing I will say to end it, right, and then you can respond. What I'm saying is, Adonis Stevenson proved he was the man, and this is the thing in the sport. You can't, you say, you know, Stevenson, you can't prove you're the man. You can prove you're the man, but you can't keep saying you're the man unless you're fighting guys that people want to see you fight. You got to admit, right, Stevenson is a lot more relevant than he was when he beat Dawson. And why is that? Because he's fighting guys that nobody wants to see. That is the fact.
No, it's not. No, okay. First of all, I want to say you said prove. If I prove you wrong, okay. If I prove you wrong,
but you can't.
Now I'm proving the man. It's not my job to go prove anything else. It's your job to come take my spot, or else I can look down upon that division and do it as I please. I'm not saying I want fighters to go to the top and never test themselves, and that's not what Stevenson did. He sent offers to guys you wanted to see him fight. Pascal got an offer that he turned down. Okay. B-Hop got an offer that he went back and said, "Nah, I'd rather fight Kovalev for less money." Okay. So what you're saying is, hey, blame his business team or something. I'm not worried about his business team. I'm worried about his hands. He's proved that his hands are legit to me. And as simple as that. It's your job to go in there and say, no, they're not. And when the person that does that shows me that, guess what? I'm praising them because I know what Adonis Stevenson can do to you. All right? Kovalev didn't want that praise. He wanted praise of Andre Ward. Instead, he got his balls beat out. All right, because it's the Superman Stevenson curse. Bernard Hopkins didn't want that praise. Instead, he got knocked out of the ring and he got beat up as an old man because it's the Superman Stevenson curse. Pascal didn't want that praise. Instead, he got beat up in front of his baby girl in his hometown because it's the Superman Stevenson curse. Let me tell you some more. Joe Smith, he didn't want that praise. So instead, he got his jaw broke on a damn undercard of HBO instead of main eventing in his hometown somewhere out in California is where that fight took place on the first card of a 130-pound title fight. What are you doing knocking Hopkins out the ring and then being the first card on a 130-pound title fight? So you see what I'm saying? All these guys that turn down opportunities, they're nowhere near. He's still on top. They're down, bruh. They trending down. He's still where he's at. He's still your lineal champion. You can like it, love it, or hate it. But he gave them opportunities, and they pissed on him. And guess what? The Superman Stevenson curse was born. That's all I can tell you, bro. You don't have to like it. It's just the truth.
Yeah, but those guys all took risks, and Stevenson hasn't.
They what? Buddy. What'd you say? Those guys also what?
They took risks, man.
Okay, so moving up from 168 to fight the lineal champion at 175 when you're the underdog.
Nah, let's be honest. Ward won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division. He was pound for pound. No, a lot of people consider him the number one pound for pound, or below Mayweather Jr. So I mean, he was an amazing fighter. So moving on from 168 to 175, he wasn't like he was he was moving two divisions up or something. It's just one division, and the guy is big for one middleweight, super middleweight. So
he took 3 years off as well. And what we're saying is, oh, let's praise Andre Ward's 3 years off, but you don't want to praise people. They might not have fought the guy that you want them to fight, but they were at least active. Whereas Andre Ward took 3 years off, and he ducked Stevenson in 2014.
Considered the number one pound for pound in a lot of people's minds.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, prove it then. That's what he had the opportunity to. Stevenson said in 2014, I'll fight you 168 in Oakland, then 175 in Canada. Andre Ward said, nah, he don't deserve me. So, well, you don't deserve my pound for pound spot if people that do deserve you don't deserve you. That's what I'm saying, man. People pick and choose in this sport. So when the only thing that you can argue with me is on resume, and you really don't have no argument, because the NBA fans can't say, oh, the Spurs didn't play this team. No, everybody plays everybody. This resume crap, man, all this picking and choosing go on. They don't want to fight dangerous opponents. You rather fight me than to fight Adonis Stevenson if you could get credit for me, and that's just how it is.
Dude, I'd beat Adonis Stevenson's ass. You would beat Adonis Stevenson's
all right.
ass.
I can tell. I can tell. Okay, I can tell we're going in circles here with the Stevenson thing. I think we've covered. Hold on. We've covered about 3 weeks worth of Adonis Stevenson talk, and I think it's clear that we're not going to get anywhere with it. Let's just agree to disagree and say that.
No, but BDA, I need to shoot because it's getting late over here. It's almost midnight over here, so I'm going to shoot. But thanks for having me on this. But this actual whole discussion is why I've never done a boxing podcast and why I don't get involved in YouTube, because you don't get anywhere. I'm going to stick to writing. I'm going to stick to doing interviews. Follow me on Twitter if you're not already. AlterPlace, do me a favor, unfollow me if you need some bullshit. And
but wait a minute,
I'll speak to you soon.
But hold on, you could come back. You could come back and still be like what should I say, like a neutral type player. You don't have to come in here and get into debates with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you called on me, man. Like, I just gave you facts that you didn't like. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
I'll let you believe that. I'll let you believe it was facts that I didn't like.
Okay.
That's what's going to make you think tonight.
Let me ask you this. Hold on. Did Kovalev enter? Let me ask you. Did Kovalev enter a WBC purse bid? Yes or no? Simple yes or no.
Yes, he did.
Did he leave out of that purse bid? Yes or no?
Again?
Did he leave out of that purse bid? And let me put another one on that. Did he leave
the purse bid? Yeah.
Okay, there you go. In the story, you don't have to be mad at me anymore. You need to direct your anger to Kovalev now, not Adonis Stevenson.
I've got no anger, my friend. I've got no anger, my friend. You got the agenda.
Well, no. What's an agenda?
Yes, he does. You do have an agenda.
My agenda was to watch that fight. My agenda was
Adonis
I don't like
Stevenson,
Adonis
right?
Stevenson. I tell the truth, and you don't like that. I don't give a
No,
fuck
you're
if
not
Adonis
telling the
Stevenson
truth.
goes out. Hold on, let me make this clear. I don't give a fuck if Adonis Stevenson goes out on a stretcher. I don't care.
I
just
will
want
to laugh my ass off.
But there you go. Hey, have you a good one. Have you a good one. Have a great one. I don't care. I just want to see the fight. Simple as
Listen,
that.
right. What's this? What I will say is, low place. What about when Adonis Stevenson lied, saying he has an exclusive TV contract with Showtime when he never did to get out of the Kovalev fight?
He did have an exclusive. He had a 3-fight deal with
PBC
Showtime.
fighter does. Deontay Wilder, no other PBC.
No, he was he was one of the only ones that was actually exclusively signed to Showtime. You don't know.
It was proven he wasn't. No, I covered the sport, my friend. Deal. If I didn't know, I went to WBC.
Okay, guys. Okay. We're just going in circles, man. We're going in circles. Listen.
No, it's not circles. It's him upset that he didn't get what he wanted here, and now he's back. He's basically
I'm not the one going on your Twitter blowing me up every time I write something about Kovalev.
I don't go on your Twitter. I don't even know your handle, bro. I don't know your handle. I don't know who you are.
Man, giving me shit about Stevenson. I wrote something about Kovalev about interview.
I came on here expecting to say something about Josh Kelly knockout win over Vasquez. No one's talking about that.
It was Jack. He was fucking Jack, man.
Yes, he was you, man.
Low place. You're telling me I don't know my shit about boxing. It's Josh Taylor who beat Vasquez, not Josh Kelly.
Yeah, Josh Taylor. I said, did I just say Josh Kelly? I might have said Kelly, but yeah, I just saw Taylor.
Anyways.
All right, guys.
Man.
It was
I respect people who come on here and debate about boxing and they're passionate about it.
Okay, it was a good debate. I enjoyed it, although I couldn't keep up with everything because I had to do two things at the same time. But from what I heard, very good debate, very lively. I think you guys drank too much green tea or something. But before you go, Cameron.
Yeah, it's a weekend, man. It's a Saturday night.
Yeah. Before you go, Cameron, first of all, thank you for joining us. And before you leave, you want to plug your Twitter and your...
thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, follow me at Cameron _ on Twitter. Obviously, put my interviews up on there. It gets quite lively on there. And even though Load Play says I don't know my shit, I do some good stuff.
Come on. Let's keep this.
Get over there. Follow me.
All right, Cameron. Thanks a lot. And wow, man.
You want to say the Low Place before you go?
Yeah, you want.
Yeah, listen. I hope you don't have too many wet dreams on Stevenson tonight, but hopefully we'll talk soon.
Okay. Now listen. Let's. First of all, every time Low Place and Jack are on the same podcast, Jack always wants to bring up Adonis Stevenson, knowing that Low Place.
And he always wants to bring up Adonis Stevenson as well.
I actually don't care to bring him up. I was talking triple.
Yeah, it was Jack. Jack, stop mentioning Adonis Stevenson.
The fact is, I cover a curse that I don't really cover it unless I see it happening. I do appreciate what he does in the ring. He's an exciting fighter, and he fights until he's 40. If a lot of fighters done that, we'd probably have a better sport. He's not a cheater in the ring.
He's a cheater out of the ring.
At the end of the day, I was looking at Golovkin, and I said to myself, will he get any better in the pocket? Because if Canelo comes in with any better stamina, he's going to hit him even more. And that's what I want to know. Will he, can he be better in the pocket?
Absolutely. I think that's a fair. I think both of you bring up fair points. Obviously, we're not going to agree. I mean, you guys aren't going to change each other's mind. But hey, we gave it a good old go. That's what we do here at the BDA. We try. And let's change subjects. First of all, let's change subjects. Lo, before you got here, we were talking about tonight's fight, and people want to keep talking about it here in the chat. So let's continue on with that. What do you think about Daniel Jacobs taking on Luis Arias tonight on HBO? You still have some energy left?
Yeah, I don't like Daniel Jacobs. I honestly don't like him, and it's almost like he doesn't believe in himself. The thing I said was, if you're a Christian, God, you'll say, God took me through cancer, helped me beat cancer. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't reflect in his faith in his boxing career. If God can help you, can beat cancer, he can help you beat anything. But you look up and down his resume, you don't see him taking too many chances. And tonight it shows it again. He's fighting who? This guy hasn't had any step-up fights. You know what I mean? Like he's smaller than you, shorter than you. He looks like a midget compared to you, and he only has like 14 fights. When I see that, I want him to get knocked out. And that being said, with Daniel Jacobs never done nothing in his career to me. Never done nothing. I mean, Quillen, okay, that's fine. Hype job. He's basically the middleweight Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. At this point, that's what Quillen is. And I'm gonna keep it real. Daniel Jacobs' best win is that. I don't really see the skills that other people like to act like are there. I see, him being avoiding in the ring. I don't know. I'm hoping this guy can beat him. I'm just gonna be honest.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't studied the fight. Danny Jacobs just ain't been worth my time.
Okay, here's the thing.
The fact is this: it's sad that he's elected to only be known for cancer instead of going for it more. Like Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz was told he wouldn't walk either, right? He was told, "Oh, your neck, blah blah blah, blah blah that." But he's known for he fought Roger Mayweather. He beat Roberto Duran. He fought Camacho. He fought Roy Jones Jr. Like, dude, make your story special. Make go push it. You know what I mean? It ain't that I don't like him. I shouldn't say that. It's that I just don't think he believes in himself, and I can't believe in a guy that don't believe in himself.
But why do you say he doesn't believe in himself?
It's just a take. It's a ring around with him. Like, I got onto him with Golovkin. Golovkin had all the belts. And Golovkin was entitled to 75% of the purse. Daniel Jacobs played with Al Heyman and Showtime like, no, give me more than this, or we're not fighting, and we're gonna get him stripped because he can't fight off of this. Because at the time Triple G was in a HBO contract, still is. He wasn't in negotiations and nothing else was happening. He was dead in it. And Danny Jacobs was trying to steal a title. Like, and that shit rubs me wrong.
That's true.
I appreciate the purity of the sport. And I don't care who it is, where they're from, what they look like. Danny Jacobs wronged the sport. And Triple G went in there, what was it, 60-40, and then you still blew off a weigh-in? A second day weigh-in? You're a piece of shit. That's just what it is.
Triple G was in the bind, and he took advantage of it.
And I just can't support it. I'm not going to support it. And I want to see him, hey, if you can better yourself, there's always time. But as of tonight, I mean, shit, I would like to see the saga end because you're not going to better yourself.
Wait. Can I just read what Cameron just said? Yeah, the guy that just was on. I DM'd him saying, "Good to have you, man." Then he said, "Guys made me consider moving to a new sport."
Okay,
and then he, like as in low place. And then I said, "Who's your number one pound for pound?" Then he continued that, saying Stevenson could pull his trousers down, and low place was going to ask what.
All right, now he's getting okay. He took it. I think he took this discussion personal, man, because he said he's supposed to be neutral. He said he's supposed to be neutral, but now it seems like he might not have enjoyed. He didn't enjoy the debate at all. So, hey, man,
it wasn't a debate. It was an argument.
Yeah, it was an argument more than a debate. But hold on, I want to read.
He came here to debate, and we were debating up until we started talking about Stevenson.
Foul pole boxing. He just told the truth. Foul pole boxing in the comments. Low play shoots from the hip. You're not supposed to like it. When I draw from the hip, if it's in your direction, you won't like it, but you shouldn't be in the way. You should be alongside. See, I'm a fair boxing fan, so we should all be shooting at the gun range, not at each other. And we shooting at the gun range, we shooting at other targets. But if I'm shooting from the hip, and
you're operative, you're a fucking
idiot. You're not gonna like it.
No, but
you're an idiot. Covert operative. He said Jacob kicked Golovkin's ass.
Okay, but hold on. I wanted to read another comment from Covert Operative. He says that Luis Arias is going to put up a good fight, and I agree because that's the thing I disagree with.
No, he won't. He's going to get knocked down like 4 rounds.
We'll see. But in his last fight, he showed some good moves. He showed some skill. It's true that he hasn't fought anybody. He doesn't have even a Peter Quillen in his resume. But I'm hoping at least for a good fight, a good entertaining fight. And Luis Arias is trained by John David Jackson, so I don't know if that's going to be a plus or not because John David Jackson can be very erratic with his fighters. But hopefully, I asked this question to King Butcher in the beginning of the show, and I'm going to ask it to you guys again, starting with Jack. If Daniel Jacobs knocks out Arias in 1 round or dominates him, will you give him credit or will you say Luis Arias was a nobody?
I definitely don't like Daniel Jacobs, but he's one hell of a fighter. I definitely put him above Adonis Stevenson on the pound-for-pound list. Sorry, I'm just gonna bring that up. No, well, he is. That's not really like a question or anything. But I think Daniel Jacobs is he's a great fighter. I mean, people just say people are giving him too much credit for surviving with Triple G. He won 3 or 4 rounds against Triple G, and that's still really good. So I think he will be dominant.
Okay.
And knock him out inside of 4 or 5 rounds.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
So I will give him credit.
Okay, good. Ray, same question to you, man.
Yeah. I mean, he shouldn't have any problems taking the guy out pretty quick.
Oh, pretty quick. Okay.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. 4 or 5 rounds. I mean, you would think that he needs to make a statement, right? I mean, he needs to follow up the biggest fight of his career with something big, right? He did that with Peter Quillen. He stepped up and no, he didn't. Not my fight. He took an interim fight between Triple G. But when you come off a big fight, you need to step it up again. And he signed his big contract or whatever with Eddie Hearn and HBO and shit. I mean, HBO is going to be pumping him up big time tonight, but they always do that. But he needs to step it up and really to keep himself relevant if he ever wants to fight Canelo, which I doubt will ever happen. But
Oh, you think if Canelo, let's say Canelo wins a Triple G fight, you don't think he steps in there with Jacobs?
He won't.
Nah, Jacobs is too big.
Yeah, we just said that at the same time. Yeah, Jacobs is too big.
Yeah.
All right, and now let's go on over to low
Canelo
place.
Can at least match somebody in size or pull some sort of crazy weight drain on him like he did with Chavez. He's not going to take a risk.
Yeah, I agree there, man. I unless Daniel Jacobs can sort of, I don't know, get himself a big name or something. I don't know, but he'd have to start off by looking impressive tonight. And low place, I suppose we already know your views because you said that you don't think Luis Arias is high or anything. But I mean, anything else you want to add about this fight?
As far as giving him, you said give him credit. I would just look at it as, hey, you done your job. That's the opponent you picked to do that to. So, whatever. You get the next one up, and hopefully you don't make us wait. What is it, 8 or 9 months like you normally do? When was the Triple G fight?
In March.
Like what the hell? Like you supposed to be in your greatest and best performance, and you follow it up sitting on your ass for 8 months. That's what I mean. Like who's supposed to like that?
Wait, how long? I'm sorry to bring this up again, but hasn't Adonis Stevenson been off for like 8 months?
Are you doing this on purpose, man? Bringing Adonis Stevenson
No.
up? Yeah, you are, man.
He's trying to nitpick every little thing, but I'm saying off of your biggest performance, Chad Dawson was his biggest win, and next thing you know, he was
we're not gonna get into this.
That year.
No, we're not gonna get into this. Sorry,
Cloud. Then he
not gonna happen. Not on my watch.
The only good dude he fought. Wait, he hasn't even fought anyone good.
So Tavares Cloud, a former champion's a bum, but Danny Jacobs, who never won a damn belt in his life, is on your pound for pound list. This makes a lot of sense, Jack.
He's on my he's in my.
I'm just saying you understand. Danny Jacobs has never won a title. He has never won a title.
That doesn't mean he's not a. That doesn't mean he's a bad fighter.
No. He's 0-2 in title fights, and you said he ranks higher than a lineal title. That's what you said. A guy with 9 defenses. That's what you said. You said that.
Well, Jacobs actually fights good fighters. He doesn't fight bombs.
Yeah, like Cuba Arias. Yeah, great fight.
Cuba Arias would fucking beat Adonis Stevenson. I'm super middleweight.
It's hard. Let me tell you, it's hard. It's hard to fight great fighters in the middleweight division of a year and 2 ago. It's hard to fight any good fighters, to be honest.
Triple G has fought the 2 best middleweights
his best opponent could possibly be Martin Mary. Martin Mary, really?
Yeah, Martin Mary? That's better than Adonis Stevenson has ever fought. He beat.
Where was Martin Mary ranked?
Martin Mary, really? Jacob didn't even get that kind of body on his resume. Martin Mary, you can't even make that fight. I mean, damn.
Didn't you say,
not
Peter?
Even confident enough to beat that guy? You're not even.
Didn't you say he'd rank Triple G higher on your pound for pound list if he beat Peter Quillen and knocked him out? Didn't Daniel Jacobs knock him out in 1 round?
Who said that? Who said something about Peter Quillen?
You said before you'd rate Triple G higher on your pound for pound list if he fought a better dude like Peter Quillen.
You never heard that come out of my mouth.
I heard that come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I just called Deontay Wilder the Peter Quillen of the middleweight division. I don't think you didn't hear that come out of my mouth. You making something up here.
I'm not making something. I can find you evidence once this podcast is over.
Well, go get it. Where are you gonna get it from?
It was either in one of this previous podcasts or one of my podcasts.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find that evidence. I said that would have been. I said that probably would have been. Maybe I agree with you. It would have been a little bit better. It would have been something for him. But I wouldn't even rate him high with Peter Quillen. That's what I said. I said the exact opposite of what you're saying. I have no reason. I have no reason to hype somebody that knocked out Peter Quillen. I've seen Peter Quillen ready to be beat multiple times. He's no amateur standout. He's not a guy that lives and breathes boxing. He's not that guy. He's not a great fighter.
No, but going into division rankings, like who's higher, Fonfara or Daniel Jacobs in their middleweight division?
Okay, hold on.
Like in their respect, because
Fonfara
is like number 30.
Merry-go-round about Stevenson here?
Daniel Jacobs is number 2.
No.
He was top 5 when
it's enough.
Fonfara was a top 5 light heavyweight. The first time they fought, he was a top 5 light heavyweight. That's the facts on that.
You fucking no good cunt.
You cunts gotta stop.
You cunts have to stop. Get it. I speak the truth about the middleweight division, and you want me to put a little salt and sugar on it and make it taste better. But it's a better division now. Like, you got better people potentially showing they can move in it. More credible than Martin Mary's, in my opinion. They're more talented than him as well. And that's what we're going to look at.
Adonis Stevenson hasn't fought, and he won 1-4.
Forget about Adonis Stevenson. Let's forget about Adonis. Jack, you keep bringing up Adonis Stevenson. Now it's clear. You're the one that keeps bringing him up, and you can't deny it.
Okay. Stop.
Stop bringing Adonis Stevenson in. Jesus.
I'm gonna get him a Superman Stevenson shirt. That's what he wants. He wants that.
No, I hate Adonis Stevenson. He's a bum. Let's move on.
All right, that's good enough from you guys. What was he talking about? Ah, yes, Daniel Jacobs. Okay, so Daniel Jacobs, we can all agree he has to make something happen here. The middleweight division, it's clear that HBO is trying to hold on to some assets. They have Canelo, they have Golovkin, we know that. Now they have Daniel Jacobs, provided he wins. They're going to keep him in there in the mix. They have Demetrius Andrade, who fought a couple of weeks ago, so they got four good middleweights.
Lemieux?
What's that?
Lemieux,
possibly Sanders. That's 6 good middleweights. And if somehow, which Charlo is the one that's moving up to middleweight?
Jamal's already there. He's already there.
Already fought there.
He fought that one-legged dude.
All right, yeah, okay, him. If he somehow gets disgruntled with the PBC and wants to get out of that PBC plan, which is to fight once a year, what if he goes to HBO? Man, that's 7 good middleweights. That's a hell of a division right there, man.
I think Daniel Jacobs would beat Charlo, because I think Daniel Jacobs would easily take care of the Charlos.
I highly doubt that. I don't think that at all.
Well, good
I think it's competitive, but I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be competitive. I don't know.
I got Jamal Charlo being too much of a dog for him. Like, in my opinion, he's just gonna go for Jacobs, and Jacobs gonna be trying to be cute and everything else, and it ain't gonna work for you.
Hey, how good is Daniel Jacobs' chin? Because on the one hand, he got knocked out by the
Pirog. Not good, but he's a good fighter.
But he got knocked out by Pirog 7 years ago, right? And then he fights Golovkin, who's one of the best punchers in the middleweight division. He was able to drop
by Sergio Mora.
Yeah, Sergio Mora.
I mean, just look at it. Charlo was willing to give a voluntary to a guy like Austin Trout that can beat you any given night. You know, then a mandatory and an A-level prospect in Julian Williams. Daniel Jacobs don't know shit about that. He don't know shit about getting in those. He don't.
Yeah, but Jamal was way bigger than Julian Williams.
Yeah,
I mean, he was huge.
Absolutely, this guy looked like.
But he fought the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Daniel Jacobs fought Golovkin.
No, he didn't fight him.
Yeah, let's be honest. Charlo hasn't fought anybody like Golovkin.
He went in there skipping.
Are you denying that he didn't fight Golovkin?
No. He went in there skipping around the damn ring, throwing punches every so often and screaming when he landed 2 or 3 because he fought to survive. He fought like his opponent said. He fought, and I hate to say fought because he didn't do much of that. He participated for participation points. That's what he did.
It's a pretty good participation, man.
He still fought.
He was Mr. I went 12 rounds. Mr. I stopped the streak. That's all it was that night. He had no intentions of fighting.
Okay, no, I'm not going to mention Stevenson.
He had no intentions of going in there and fighting. And what, later in the round, you land a few shots, you got some confidence. Man, you got to fight the whole 12 fights. Or you going to get called. People are going to wonder, where's the dog in you? Where's it at?
Well, I mean,
I don't see it, so I can't go picking you.
I understand about him being more on the defensive, Jacobs, that is, but he had to be. He was fighting a big puncher. At that point, let's remember that Golovkin was on a 10, 12 KO streak or something like that.
12. No, I think it was 11.
Whatever. I mean, I got to give Jacobs credit for not just for going the distance, but he actually did put up a good fight, or as good a fight as he could put up. Now, what does that mean for him in the middleweight division? Does it mean that he's as good as people say? Is Golovkin slowing down? I mean, I don't want to get into the whole Golovkin thing again, though, because, I mean, it's Jacobs that's fighting tonight. But that's why I'm so excited about the fight tonight, because I want to see what Jacobs can do against a young gun. I mean, I know you guys don't think that Luis Arias is all that great because he's never fought anybody. But, Julian Williams, when he fought Charlo, he'd never beaten anybody really of note. I mean, he had a fight against, what was that Mexican guy who was undefeated at the time, and he ended in a no contest. Anyway, he was fighting some undefeated Mexican guy, and he was schooling him. But it ended in a...
Hugo
Centeno Jr. Yes, Hugo Centeno.
Hugo
Thanks.
Centeno Jr. He got a big win at middleweight, knocking out Emmanuel Aleem the other day. Emmanuel Aleem had knocked out Kitrov, and then he came along and knocked out Aleem.
Well, those people can.
He was schooling the hell out of.
Yeah,
Hugo
but those
Centeno
guys,
Jr.
they can't speak English, so I don't count them. So, but what I'm saying is, that Luis Arias, I think it's gonna be a good test, and we'll see what Jacobs can do. So, I also want to talk about the Beterbiev fight, because I know we talked about it earlier, guys, but let's just go back to that for a moment. Beterbiev is a monster, and I'm gonna show you the clips again of. Just a couple of highlights of him fighting Usyk in the amateurs, because really I think people think that Beterbiev is just a come forward tank that knocks people out, but he's actually got skills in there and good foot movement. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of how good he can be when he fights somebody with a pulse. So let's take a look at some highlights here real quick. This is against Usyk, Alexander Usyk, that is. Apparently, this was in the 2011 World Championships. So there you have Beterbiev in the red and Usyk in blue. Hopefully, it's already on the screen. Yes, it is. Has anybody else seen this fight, by the way?
Nope. You showed it earlier in the podcast.
Okay, but you've never seen it all then?
No, I've seen it all.
Oh, you've seen it since then. Okay. Pretty good fight.
Cutting the ring off right there.
Was that?
He wasn't cutting the ring off right there. Couldn't get it cut off.
Yeah, I really do wonder if he's improved in that respect. That's the thing. Beterbiev has never fought a good mover as a pro.
Usyk's a bad. But look, I'm gonna just say Usyk's a bad man. So.
Yeah, he's number 2 pound for pound on his list.
He might be actually number 1. That like skill for what he actually is in this sport, he might be the. If it was somebody I needed to be any given night, I might just turn into Usyk.
Yeah,
see, that's the thing.
Who's he beaten? Why would you beat 2 pound for pound? Who's he beaten? Exactly, nobody. He's not ready yet to be on the pound for pound list. He will be.
Undefeated Glowacki. He just knocked out the long reign and cruiserweight champion as well. Yeah, he's ready. He's beyond ready to be on it. Well, who did Lomachenko beat to be on yours?
Gary Russell Jr., possibly the fastest fighter in boxing. Hey, wait.
So your adjectives for Gary Russell beats the accomplishments of Huck and Glowacki. I see how you do it.
Yes, by far. Gary Russell Jr., when he fought Lomachenko, was 24-0. Still, he is the fastest fighter in boxing today, I think.
Yeah. Let me ask you who Gary Russell had beat at that point. Since you said who's Usyk beat, who did Gary Russell beat?
Exactly. There's that one Russian dude that he beat. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Trash can? Is that was it? Oleg Doctor the trash can? Was that his name?
No. He fought Andre Fonfara, but I wouldn't say that's good of a win. So
All right. So going back to
that's not the only good win Vasyl Lomachenko has. Vasyl Lomachenko has beaten a pound for pound fighter.
Going back to Beterbiev. We gotta go back to Beterbiev here. We gotta go back to Beterbiev here.
Beterbiev does interest me though, man. Like I just gotta see. He needs to keep better balance when he's being forced to go backwards, because that's where he was knocked down that fight, and it was his fault. He goes back, just way off balance with his head. He goes back with his head first. Instead of taking his feet with him, he go with his head and keep his hands high. But a big puncher will knock you off balance, and he'll connect with you and could hurt you. And, he didn't look hurt in that exchange when he went down. But, I mean, sometimes I think he fought a guy with the dreadlocks on PBC, and that was more the person that went about the longest I've seen go with him. He got outboxed at times, but he also showed that he could counter punch and come through with shots. I like him. But this guy he's fighting tonight, this shouldn't be a contest. I studied the guy. He's smaller. He's not a puncher. 6 knockouts. Not a puncher whatsoever. He's smaller. He's shorter. His favorite punch to me seemed to be the left hook. He does keep a tight defense, but Beterbiev should steamroll this dude, man.
Yeah, I think he's tailor-made. What the hell was that?
What's it?
Did y'all see that Bivol knockout the other day?
Don't play yourself.
What the hell? Oh, it's Jack playing sound effects again.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was your question, Ray?
No, I was asking if y'all saw that Bivol knockout last week.
No, I haven't seen it
I think
actually.
it was last week, right? It was on HBO, and it was only one fight.
Yeah, that's a weird one from HBO.
I think they were in Russia.
I want to see more of Bivol. I can't say how good he is.
Oh, Monte Carlo. Excuse me.
Yeah, it do definitely need more. And same with Beterbiev. Same with both of them. It's more to come, and I think they promoters know that, and they gonna take it. They gonna do it that way, and you can't blame them for that. They inexperienced in the pros.
Actually, you know what? I said that I'd never seen Beterbiev fight a mover, but he did fight Gabriel Campillo. I forgot about that, but just Campillo has an awful chin. Really, one of the worst chins ever seen. So
I tell you the fight. I think it's Alexander Johnson. Without box record, I think that's the name. If you see in the box record, is Alexander Johnson on there or Alexander something?
We were talking about him earlier.
Let me go. I'll try to box record myself. I
think he's referring to Greg Page Jr.
But I'm on it now. Hold on.
Wait, Alexander.
Alexander.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier.
That would be, in my opinion, that would be the best. That would be the best fight to watch a Bivol if you want to see somebody who can move or box with him. And he went 7 rounds. Like I was saying, that's the guy that took him further than anybody else.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it ended in a stoppage, I think. But I haven't seen it in a while. But he showed some faults, but also some good things and adjustments in there that, you know, to come and play. I think the guy was a southpaw too that he was fighting, Alexander Johnson. Yep, he was a southpaw. So, you know, for him to be able to deal with that, be able to counterpunch that it's kind of easier to counterpunch a southpaw with the straight right hand. But he was also doing it with the left hook that I remember. But I'm probably go back and watch that one again just to brush up on him some more. But he should dominate this fight tonight. Like, this guy got no business being in the ring if he's as good as we think he is.
Here's the thing. When you have a guy like Beterbiev who has power, some boxing skills, and is an immovable object, the way to beat him is the guy that's going to beat him is going to be a guy who has exceptional hand speed, exceptional power, or exceptional ring IQ, like really good skills. The guy he's fighting, Colling, or I don't know how you say his name, Kelling, he doesn't have any of that. Like you said, he's shorter, he can't punch. He's like Arthur Abraham, but without the skills and without the power. So, I mean, at least he's strong. So he might be able to take a punch for a couple of rounds. So that's why I'm interested in watching this fight. But yeah, I don't, like I said, if you want to beat Beterbiev, you got to come in there with an arsenal. And I don't think this guy has it. But
push him back. I'd be able to push him back somehow, some way.
That's the thing, yeah.
Right.
Can
You're right.
fight?
Like this, I don't know what the IBF. I think it's the IBF title tonight, right? But I am looking forward to seeing him, finally on TV again and shit like that. Heating up the division.
Because apparently the Cameron who was here earlier, I think it was Cameron, or was it you, Ray, who was mentioning that Beterbiev is actually trying to get out of his contract with
Yvonne Michelle.
No, that was
Cameron.
That was Cameron.
Okay, it was Cameron. Yeah,
he is. That's supposed to come up in November, they said, and we ain't heard anything about it.
Yeah, big surprise. He's not happy with the PBC one fight a year game plan. I mean, that's really surprised about that. But should he beat the guy that he's going to fight tonight? I do wonder who else he could. First of all, he's fighting on ESPN. It's not HBO.
Top rank. It's top rank card.
Yeah. So
hey guys, I gotta go.
You going?
All right, later.
Yeah.
All right, Jack.
I'll be back next week or maybe in the week now. I'm just busy. I have to do something right now.
All right, man. Thanks for having joined us, man. And great debate
with you.
Yeah,
it was good to see you, AlterPlace, Ray, King Bucho, BDA, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right, man. Yeah, we all know it's all fun here at BDA. It's not. I don't think there's any real animosity. I don't think. I don't know. I can't read minds. Hopefully, everybody enjoys the debate. But
what is covert opposite? Bucho, pull the plug on this child. Oh, I'm not gonna read the rest of that.
Hey, listen, we hear the complaints here. I think maybe that's why Jack left though. Maybe he read the comments and he said, "Fuck this, I'm not gonna stand for this." But yeah, okay. So talking about Beterbiev, hopefully, if he's with Top Rank, who else is he gonna go in there against?
Vazik. They got Vazik. They have Vazik for sure.
Oh, Vazik is with Top Rank. Okay, then
no, yeah, it is Vazik.
No, well, he might be. I think he is. Yeah, because that Ukrainian triple header they had with Lomachenko earlier this year, I guess that was Top Rank, right? Usyk and Vazik and Lomachenko, they're all Top Rank.
Yeah, he is, I believe.
Think, man. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
Top rank fighter. Top rank, definitely. Yeah. I think co-promoted though, but Vozic for sure. He's in the WBC eliminator with Marcus Brown, and if they don't make that fight, I'm gonna be pissed because that's the right belt to go get. You'll be putting yourself in position to fight the lineal champion, whether that's Badu Jack, Adonis Stevenson, or later Alvarez. So you got to go in there and make that fight. But besides that, I don't know. I don't think there's anybody that they have.
Okay, so stepping in there with Top Rank might not be the best idea, man. He needs to go in there with somebody that actually has some fighters that he can take on. Otherwise, what the hell is he doing with Top Rank? Or he might end up staying with Yvon Michel and PBC and actually wait out to see if he can take on Stevenson or Baidu Jack or Alvarez or one of those guys that they have on the roster.
I think he played himself when he came in and he was talking tough about Kovalev, and he, that he got offered that fight in Russia and he turned it down. And when he turned it down, he immediately hurt himself like after that. So that's the kind of setbacks you really can't afford. And this is his first fight. I think this is was this a comeback? No. What happened this year was Barrera ducked him. Remember that?
Barrera ducked. Oh yeah, I follow this type of news, but I'm not even sure who really is at fault, because Kathy Duva says that it was Beterbiev's fault, and then Beterbiev says no, it was Barrera's fault. So who's telling?
Look at it like this. Sullivan Barrera hasn't fought for a title yet. This fight's for a title. So you could have stayed in the IBF rankings. You could have simply said, okay, I'm gonna take an interim, y'all get this back, I'm staying in the IBF rankings. Where's he at? Where's he at? This fight is still going on. This vacant IBF title fight, this calling fight, this was a purse bid just like the Barrera fight. Barrera didn't have to go anywhere. Barrera's all talk. Repeatedly does it on Twitter. Can't stand him.
He's not in a title position right now. I thought the Joe Smith fight was no. That was an eliminator. Yeah,
no, it wasn't even an eliminator.
Okay,
it wasn't even that. What he's in now is the WBA. The WBA, since War retired and then Jack was made to vacate, and now he's in place. He was like the fourth man. He would have been nowhere near a title shot. He didn't want none. His pay wasn't good enough. He wouldn't let Michelle put the event on quicker. Michelle told him he was going to take the fight to Florida.
Who? Michelle?
Okay. Yeah, Yvonne Michelle won the first bid. Said we're going to take the fight to Florida. So, because Barrera can't go to Canada, visa issues or whatever. Passport won't let him in. So they said, okay, I want it. Yvonne Michelle won it. So if he says, you know what, I can't hold it in Florida, it's his right to hold it wherever the hell he wants to hold it. If you can't get in, guess what? That's your fault. But you don't have to drop out the IBF rankings. You don't have to make the fuss that you made. If the fight wasn't going to happen and you're trying to blame it on somebody else, then hey, let them prove it's not going to happen. And then Top Rank would have came and bid on you versus Barrera, right? Beterbiev, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, instead you're not in the title fight. So yes, you ducked, in my opinion.
Yeah, that seems sketchy right there, man, that he wouldn't take that fight. I like Barrera's style, but I don't know what it is. People are going to maybe say that I'm racist or something, but it seems to me like a lot of these Cuban guys, they love to talk on Twitter. I don't know if they have Twitter in Cuba, but it seems like once they get into the United States, they love to. Oh, they don't?
No, I can't do that.
Well, there you go.
They barely even fucking have internet, man. They not even allowed that shit.
Yeah, but careful, man. The Cuban fans are gonna go after you, man. You got enough people going after you. You don't need.
Oh, they know it's true. They know it's true. Like if you lived in Cuba, you know it's true. They have to pirate like internet, underground internet, and if you get caught, fucking charges. You know what I mean? Like it's no joke over there. They got dictators.
Yeah, man. Cuba's no joke. I mean, it's getting a little bit better from what I hear, but. Definitely not. But going back to what I was saying about the Cuban fighters, these guys, they love. I mean, listen, let's look at it this way. Lara loves to talk. Rigondeaux loves to talk. Barrera loves to talk. Who else am I missing? There must be some other Cubans out there that like to talk.
Does Dorticos talk? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, and Rances Barthélemy maybe too. I think he also likes. So.
Oh God, I hate that guy.
You guys tell me. I mean, am I being biased or is there a pattern here?
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, maybe just the top Cuban guys. I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't know about, but you're talking about ranked guys, yeah.
Then again, somebody else might say, well, you look at certain other fighters, they talk a lot too, so I mean, who's really... I mean, maybe just everyone who likes to talk. I don't know. But Barrera, I like his skills. I like what he showed against Ward. Even though he lost most of the rounds, he was never completely outfoxed in there, you know. He just couldn't land against Ward. But he didn't take too many flush shots himself. He took a couple of jabs, a couple of left hooks. But other than that, he's solid, man. Which is strange then that he wouldn't want to take on Beterbiev. Maybe he recognized that Beterbiev isn't a joke either, man. I mean, look, I'm reading the comment section here for the YouTube stream. And Covert Operative is going on and on about Beterbiev and how he thinks Beterbiev can eventually win a heavyweight title, man. That's how highly he ranks him.
Yeah, I don't know. What about the power, though?
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know, man. A lot of these fights, you just really don't know what goes behind closed doors, man. The fights could come up, but the money's just not there, you know? These guys don't want to fight another top-ranked guy for 40 or 50 grand, you know?
Right.
It's not worth it when they're going to fight a guy and make 200 grand, get a knockout, and then get a position for a title eliminator or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not every boxer out there is just going to do it because they want to fight the best. I mean, they all make a living that way.
Yeah, when you're fighting a guy like, what's his name, with Beterbiev, who's a big puncher. But, I mean, that's...
Right,
was that?
BDA.
Yeah.
Cover Operative is talking about Usyk.
Oh, Usyk. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense then, yeah. I thought he was talking about Beterbiev. I said, that's a bit of a stretch right there.
You're right, lads.
Oh, we got Hassan on the line. Hassan, how are you, man?
I'm chilling, bro. How are you? Haven't spoke to you in a while.
Yeah, man. It's been a while, man. That since you, I guess it's King Butch is the one that goes on other podcasts lately. I haven't had a chance, man. But good talking to you again, man. You missed a hell of a fucking debate between Low Place, Jack Alter, and what was his name? Cameron, aka Fight. Shit. We'll plug his Twitter.
God. Don't remind me of Jack Alter. He's a fucking retard.
I think he's still listening, by the way. I hope he comments on the chat.
Let him know he's a retard. Or Jack, you're a fucking retard.
Okay, now here's the thing.
I think he left.
No, he's listening. He's listening. Now, Jack, he's starting to box. I think he wants to be an amateur. You box as well, right, Hassan?
Yo.
Yeah, you box. So we got to set this fight up between you and Jack, man.
I've seen the way he looks. I've seen his physique. And I must say, my little sister's got more muscle than him.
Oh, shots fired, man. King Butcher, we got ourselves a fight here, man.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. If you pay for my if you pay for my plane tickets to the US, I'll do it.
Wait a minute. Pay for your tickets in the US. This is gonna take place in a neutral location, man.
Where's that? Canada.
Switzerland or something. I know he can't be in the United States. Apparently, Jack is from the US. So, how the hell are we gonna have a fight with his crowd, his judges? No, that doesn't work, man.
Yeah, but I'm the underdog.
Oh, so you want to be the underdog? Like you want to fight him in his backyard?
I want to be the underdog.
All right, there you go. There you guys have it. Hassan is ready and willing to get into a boxing bout. We'll make that happen, man. By the way, guys, is the Liam Smith fight, is that still going on? Is that over? What's going on? Oh, first of all, before you say the results, spoilers, everybody, spoilers. If you don't want to hear about it, cover your ears, log off the computer, do whatever you gotta do. But we're gonna have some spoilers here. Anybody knows what's going on with that fight?
Should I check? I'm checking right now as we speak.
Go ahead, man.
I hope Danny Jacobs wins tonight. He's one of my favorite boxers right now.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's on.
Oh, the fight hasn't started yet?
My DVR is not recording it, so I don't think it's on.
No, it's not on yet.
Okay, I'm reading Covert Operative's comments here. He says, "My money is on Jack by scratching Hassan's eye out and stamping on his handbag." You got a handbag, Hassan?
A handbag? What the fuck?
I don't know. I think he's saying you have a men purse. Like in that Seinfeld episode.
It's not a purse, it's European.
You got a pun there, right there. I mean, not a pun, but...
Stamping on his handbag. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Covert Operative is a weird dude, man. I mean, he's been through the ringer. He's been through a lot of missions. I think
He's been through what?
Was that?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, I think Covert Operative has been through the ringer. He's been through a couple of tough missions. He was probably experimented on by the military. They probably introduced some chemicals into foreign chemicals into his body. So now I think he sees things that not everybody else sees. I think that's what's going on here. He can see the patterns.
Wait, what the fuck? I'm talking about this BDA. No one missed you, Hassan. My money is on Jack by scratching Hassan's eye out and stamping on his handbag.
Yeah, that's
what
Covert
the fuck
Operative.
Is this kid talking about?
Well, because Covert Operative, you gotta understand, he doesn't like anybody.
I don't care about him, to be honest. He seems quite strange.
Will you take on him after you're done with Jack Alter?
I'm ready. I said, listen, you bring him to me and I'll sort him out.
All right, we'll hash everything out, man. We'll try to work on the details. I'm not a good promoter, but...
Where is Hash from? Where you from, Hash?
UK, bro, UK.
It sound like Kell Brook.
I don't sound nothing like Kell Brook.
You do, man.
I sound more like Amir Khan.
Yeah, he sounds like Amir Khan.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, Hassan is training. He wants to get it. Have you had a fight yet, or?
I've had like fucking a couple of bouts. I mean, amateur, I've had about 18, but that was like when I was around 11, 13. That was when I used to fight a lot, but now I haven't fucking done shit all. I just sit at home and eat fucking donuts.
No, you don't want to do that, man. Then you gotta burn all that weight off.
Yeah, but I can't be bothered. You get me?
All right, listen. What's going on with the Liam Smith fight then? Is that on or?
I don't know. He sounds like a pussy. Cool.
Hey, Anthony Joshua, apparently his Twitter, he admitted that he actually fucked Amir Khan's wife. I don't know if that's true.
No
I
shit.
still believe Joshua's account got hacked.
Yeah, because why would he admit that? I mean, that makes no sense. That just...
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's bad PR right there, man. I'm telling you, Hassan, did you catch the Joshua fight?
No, I didn't watch it, but I watched highlights.
And did you see the Wilder fight?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's like 10 seconds long.
Yeah, 10 seconds when Fat Steve Earn couldn't even get it together. Is it me, man, or does... No, even if Joshua is more skilled than Wilder, do you think it's still a competitive fight just based on Wilder's big right hand, or is that just a dream?
I think it's still a competitive fight, but normally skill beats speed, and I'm not going to lie to you. Anthony Joshua isn't that skilled. Like, he's so stiff, and he's too muscular and too stiff. So I don't know. He might not be able to beat Wilder, who's more athletic. He can move about more, if you get what I mean. But when you watch Anthony Joshua, he's so fucking stiff. Like, he's got no movement. There's no fluidity, or whatever the word is, in him.
Yeah, he actually
needs to lose weight.
He has good combinations. I like his combinations when he puts together the right uppercut, left hook, right hand. But he can only do that in spurts. He doesn't have the best activity rate in the heavyweight division, which is to be expected. I mean, like you said, the guy's huge.
He needs to lose a lot of muscle because that's why he guesses so quickly.
I don't understand what the hell he's doing. I mean, he's obviously lifting weights. That's not natural, the physique he has. So I'm wondering
he needs to lose a lot of weight.
The
more muscle you have, the more oxygen your muscles need, so the more quickly you gas out.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm wondering. Who in his training camp is telling him or advising him to keep that muscle on? Because how is it really benefiting him? He's not a get in close type of guy. He doesn't use his size to really push people around. He just loves to stay on the outside and throw combinations. So who's advising him on this? That's what I'd like to know.
I think it might be a part of a PR sort of thing because like it's better looks for a heavyweight champion, if you get what I mean. It's better looks for a heavyweight champion to be really muscular and big.
All right, we just got another subscription, Static90. Thank you for subscribing. You just joined the BDA fold. Sorry about that, Hassan. Well, I didn't get what you said. I didn't get the last part of what you said.
I said it's probably just PR because it's like better PR, and it sends out a better image for the heavyweight champion to be really big and muscular rather than, you know, like fat and fucking shit.
Yeah, listen, we got a comment here from Rory Tobori. Rory Tobori? He's saying, it's not just the big right hand. Wilder is faster, and Joshua's flaws feed into his strength. Bad head movement helps guys with a good one too. Wilder's a threat for AJ. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with that, to be honest. Wilder's fucking insanely athletic, quick.
Yeah, man, he's definitely got good hand speed on the. Was that
good power as well?
I don't think Wilder. He's too open up. Like you could easily like let him flick a jab at you and act like you got hurt from it, and he'll just drop his defense, and you can be waiting to just catch and shoot anything that he brings to you, and he's probably going night right then and there. I would try that in the fight with him, and then after that, if that doesn't work, I would just simply do what I do, and that likely beats him. Like he's getting a lot of credit for his offense, but
he doesn't have any defense.
None.
Yeah.
I swear. Gerald Washington was outboxing him.
Mm-hmm.
So was Eric Molina won a few rounds against him, and so was the other guy, the Polish guy.
Wasn't Duhaupas beating him too?
And there's this Polish guy, I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Spilka. Spilka, yeah.
The other Polish guy walled his eye up.
No, that wasn't that a French dude? I thought it was a French dude that got his idol.
Duhaupas. Yeah, Duhaupas.
Yeah, I don't know if he's chinny or not, but he's so off balance and wild that if you just hit him with something, he's gonna go down quick.
Yeah, he's chinny. That Molina fight, he got rocked like 3 or 4 times.
Okay, now how do you think Joshua's gonna fight him? Do you think he fights him pressing forward, or does he stay on the outside and actually take a risk with that big right hand of Wilder's?
I think he's gonna probably try to go on the outside and then kind of stalk and wait to make a move.
Several different ways, because he showed in the Klitschko fight, even when he was hurt, he was able to circle around the ring, and that was that was pretty different. And then, but you know, he also can push Wilder backwards, and we really never seen Wilder be effective on his back foot, except for versus Tavern, where he should have been able to do it because Tavern can't pick his feet up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys like Stiverne are tailor-made for Joshua, man. Like a guy like, I don't want to see either Wilder or with Joshua taking on guys like Dylan White, Chisora, Bermain Stiverne. You know, these high, stocky guys that are shorter and that don't have exceptional hand speed or exceptional power. Those guys are tailor-made for Deontay Wilder and for Joshua. I want to see Joshua fight Wilder, and that's it. Maybe Luis Ortiz and Povetkin, but other than that, there's slim pickings in the heavyweight division, I think.
I think Dylan White versus what's his name?
Chisora?
No. Big Baby Miller would be a good fight. I want to see that as well.
Oh, well, that brings us to the other fight that's taking on the undercard of Daniel Jacobs' fight. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is going to be taking on Mariusz Wach, who I believe went 12 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko. I'm not sure. Wach is a big guy. He's been there in the sparring camps with, I think, David Haye and other prominent heavyweights. So he's had some experience sparring, at least, top guys. And like I said, I think he went 12 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko. But Baby Miller is a big baby, man. Almost 300 pounds. I think King Bucho told me he weighed in lighter this time. But he's still at 270 or 2... King Bucho, how much did he weigh, you said? All right, King Bucho's...
Baby Miller.
Yeah.
284.
That's a big dude, man. 284, and he's 6 feet 4 inches tall, man. So you figure that.
He must gas pretty quickly.
Actually, I think he's pretty slow, man.
Really?
I
gas out.
From what I've seen, he's not the fastest guy, man. And by the way, speaking of footwork, because I think Miller is actually good friends with Shannon Briggs. I was watching this video from Shannon Briggs, and it was a bit weird. I'm gonna show it to you guys. This is Shannon Briggs trying to replicate Jersey Joe Walcott's footwork, and you know you gotta watch it with the music that they put in there. It's very, I don't know. You guys tell me.
What the fuck is this shit?
It's like Bernard Hopkins in his last fight.
Exactly, it's like the mongoose, Jersey Joe
Jumping
Walcott.
like an old man or something.
Alright, I don't know if the music's copyrighted, so I don't want to play too much of it, but I mean, what the hell's he doing there? I mean, I know it looks good, you know, like Jersey Joe Walcott used to do that all the time, but speaking of Shannon Briggs, what's he up to, man? He's in his mid-40s now?
Yeah, he needs to retire.
He absolutely needs to retire, man. Nobody's gonna give him a title shot. That dream is over, man. Fighting Klitschko's gone. So who's gonna take him on?
The results. Sorry to interrupt. The results are up for the Liam Smith fight on Boxing Scene.
Yeah, I read the Covert Operative. I think he mentioned that. Okay, spoilers, everybody. But apparently Smith won by majority decision. Is that right? All right, so I don't.
I don't like Smith. He's overrated.
Yeah, well, I mean, who's overrating him though?
He's just not. He's not that good, talented of a boxer. If I'm honest with you.
But who's overrating him? Like, who's saying that he's better than what he is?
The rankings.
Ah, the rankings. Well, you know what? You know how those go, man. They're not exactly. They're not exactly the most pristine out there. The most direct, or the most accurate, I should say. Direct. What am I talking about? But yeah, man, heavyweight division is looking good. With the potential Fury Wilder fight. Supposedly they're gonna start negotiations this week, or I think they already started. So I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope for the best for that one.
But didn't Fury get dropped by Steve Cunningham?
Yeah. What a coincidence you mentioned that, because we talked about that earlier. But come on, man, he wasn't expecting that shot, man. He was overconfident and he got caught. Klitschko caught him a couple of times and he couldn't drop him. So make of that what you will, you know.
True.
Should read this article on Jarrell Miller right now on Boxing Scene. It says he had a great training camp. He says big shout out to Mike, who in camp every day cooking breakfast and making sure I have no Snickers and no cheeseburgers in my bag.
He reminds me.
Not about like how great I felt working out. It's just the fact that I haven't eaten a cheeseburger was a great training camp.
Okay, but seriously, what the hell's he eating then? Because he's still fat.
I don't know.
I think he's just eating grease and fat, or he's not eating any steaks, man. I remember there was somebody told me the story that I think Archie Moore, when he was training George Foreman, he would make Foreman eat steak, but he was only allowed to suck the juice out of the piece of steak, and then he had to spit the meat out, which terrible waste of meat if you ask me. But I guess that's what?
Why?
Because he didn't want him gaining weight.
That's just.
He just wanted him to drink the fat, not protein.
Yeah, he just wanted him to suck the juice, but not the protein, which is, hey, freaking Archie Moore from the 40s and 50s, man. I mean, I think they didn't know back then, you know? They were doing their best. But, oh shit, the hell. Yeah, so what was it? Oh yeah, so Baby Miller, man.
Special shakes that Manny Pacquiao used to have.
Yeah, what about those special shakes? Who's taking?
Do you reckon they're fucking roided up or some shit? Because I remember reading some article or something on some forums, and it said that those drinks are laced with some fucking drugs and shit for Manny Pacquiao to get bigger or something like that. I can't exactly remember.
Look, the Manny Pacquiao issue is always gonna stick in my mind because, yeah, he had speed and power, but how did he carry that speed and power across all those weight divisions? How did he handle all that weight? He would never get tired. I think he was on something, man. I mean, if I had to bet, I'm saying allegedly here. I should say allegedly. I think it's very likely that he was on something. But then again, who isn't, right nowadays? What are the comments here saying?
Oh, your mic cut out like for a long time in the middle of all that.
Are you kidding me? I'm not going to repeat everything I said. Let's just say that.
Can you say that again, please? Because I crashed out.
Yeah, okay, something must have happened here. All right, forget about it. I'm going to read the comments here. Covert Operative is still commenting. He's saying Klitschko's professional fouls against WAC were another disgrace. Briggs has joined the agency. I recommended him to my superiors. Liam Smith is utter garbage, much like the entire Werchet Smith clan. And he says that Rocky Marciano consumes steak for dinner on most days after a training session. Yeah, if you're gonna after training you can eat the steak and everything, but just sucking the juice out and spitting out the meat, I don't see how that helps, man. Especially since George Foreman was a heavyweight, it's not like he had to make the weight. He just didn't have to come in fat, and that's it. That's all you got to do for him.
He wanted the taste of beef, but without being able to actually eat it. You know, if you just eat actually a diet of like a keto diet of just strict grease, like you won't eat. You'll feel extremely full, but you won't have any weight in your stomach. But it'll feel like you've had a lot of food, because something about just eating a bunch of fat, just it's like it convinces your body that you're full.
Yeah, I've tried that keto diet, man, and it's a pain in the ass because I can't go to the bathroom anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably have to supplement with other stuff to make that happen. But I got a friend who does it, and he keeps trying to get me to do it, but I'm like, no, I'll just do low carb if I need a diet.
Well, why don't you just go paleo?
Yeah, I don't really like to eat greens, so raw greens anyway. So
why don't you go vegan?
You're gonna go vegan. You're gonna go
vegans because they're missing out.
Yeah.
On the good stuff of they're missing out on all the good stuff in life.
Listen, if you're gonna turn vegan, you might as well turn into a woman right away as well.
Trust me.
Get your sex change operation and call yourself Janine or something. I don't know how vegans do it, man. Okay, first of all, what's the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian? The vegans don't eat eggs, or what's it all about?
They don't eat egg. They don't eat dairy either, I don't think.
Yeah.
So wait, who's the one that doesn't eat eggs?
Eggs vegan. And dairy, I believe.
Okay.
I guess it's like anything related to coming from an animal, basically.
But why? I don't understand that. They're fucking retarded, to be honest.
Yeah.
No wonder they're like malnourished and shit. They got no strength, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how you can make it. I remember I saw a book once where it was called the Vegetarian Bodybuilder, and in the picture on the cover you see this old man, like fucking ripped and bulging muscle. I'm thinking, okay, come on, you're roiding, man. You didn't get that from vegetables. I mean, yeah, has it been proven? Can you gain muscle mass by just eating vegetables and legumes and all that, or is that just a myth?
I'm pretty sure they eat corn. Have you heard of corn?
I've heard of corn, absolutely.
They eat that shit, which is basically all chemicals and shit, but it like tastes like meat, but it isn't meat, but it's just chemicals, which is probably worse for you than actual meat.
Yeah, that Monsanto corn is the best, man. They got all those chemicals in there. You'll turn into a mutant.
Fuck that shit.
Red Fox in the comment section is saying, Muhammad Ali ate steaks and vegetables during his prime days. Jugar is saying, Manny was juiced up, but now I'm an asshole because I thought Margarito's gloves were loaded. Well, yeah, you might be. Maybe you're an asshole because of other reasons. No, I'm kidding. Red Fox says, vegans don't eat meat and nothing animal related at all. Ah, okay. And then he says Bradley was a vegan at times. Yeah, at times, but I highly doubt that he was a full-time vegan. Have you seen how Bradley looks, man? That guy was freaking pumped to the gills, man. I don't think he's a fucking...
Yeah. Probably had one of the best, like, abs in the fucking whole boxing.
Yeah, his physique was insane, man. Have you guys ever tried going vegan or any type of weird eating regime?
Fuck that. I train a lot, but I eat what I want as well.
Well, that's the thing. Juan Manuel Marquez used to say that he didn't have any specific eating regimen. He said he would just train and then he ate whatever he wanted. Now, obviously,
you just count your calories.
What? That's right. Yeah.
Burns.
Yeah. Obviously, he wasn't going nuts.
Yeah, I make up in calorie wise, but I don't have a specific diet. I just eat a lot of fucking food after I train. That's it.
Yeah, you look at. I mean, like you're talking about Juan Manuel. I mean, the dude was never ripped or anything, but he just had insane stamina. You know. I mean, compare somebody like, I don't know, Wayne Gretzky, right? Wayne Gretzky was. Everybody said he was undersized and he's too small. But he just fucking dominated because he had insane stamina. He could just keep going all the fucking time.
I'm sorry, man. Well, yeah, you're right.
It's Gretzky.
He's a hockey player. He's rated as the best hockey player that ever lived. But I don't know.
Yeah, you forgot Hassan is from the UK. They don't have hockey over there. Nobody knows what hockey is over there.
I don't know about hockey around here.
Do you even know what hockey is, or?
I know what hockey is.
No, I'm kidding. I'm reading the comments here, and his covert operative says the biggest and heaviest living thing of all time was a plant eater, Argentinosaurus. Okay, but that's a fucking reptile, man. We're not reptiles, as far as I know. Red Fox says I went vegetarian for an hour. Jugar says it was the urine shakes that made Marquez a beast. Yeah, let's talk about Marquez and that freaking drinking urine. Who put that idea into his head? Drink some urine.
I don't know. Does it actually help you in any way?
Apparently, Dr. Margaret Goodman, who used to be the Nevada State Athletic Commission doctor, she said no.
The fuck? But I think it's one of them cultural things, like like how I don't know if it happens with Mexicans as well, but with Pakis, like Pakistani, because I'm Pakistani, and Mexicans, yeah.
Okay.
They believe their own shit, like they have their own medicine and shit.
Oh yeah, like they believe that their waste has actually medicinal properties, right?
No, not waste. I just mean they have their own alternative medicine.
Ah, okay, their ways. Okay,
like,
yeah.
I think he probably just believes some random shit.
Believe in natural medicine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, like that.
Well, I mentioned this. Yeah, go ahead.
Could be superstition too. You know, like
superstition. That's it.
He did it one time and it worked for him, so he kept doing it after that. Like baseball players are really bad about superstition too. Yeah,
baseball players are some of the worst, man. But I think I mentioned this in another podcast that Vitaly Klitschko would actually dip his hand wraps into his baby's urine because he claimed that they had anti-inflammatory properties. So he would put those hand wraps around his knuckles and supposedly that reduced the swelling. I'd like to know where he got it.
Jellyfish things, right? You piss on it and it's supposed to not swell up as bad.
Yeah, so you think there might be some... You think there might be some truth to that, or that's just BS?
Maybe. I don't know. I sure as hell wouldn't try it.
Yeah, I sure as hell wouldn't try it either, man.
I'm not a boxer, so I don't have to worry about that. But I mean, I think a lot of it is superstition and just mental belief.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you believe that you have what you need if that's going to make it better for you, then people are going to do it, you know?
Yeah, I agree, man. These guys...
I don't know. Fighters just have a completely different mindset than other people, I think.
Any
other athlete.
I read somewhere, I think it was basketball players. I forget which basketball players, but there's some basketball players that one of them started eating... He ate a peanut butter sandwich before one of his big games, and he had one of his best performances ever. So then all his other teammates started eating peanut butter sandwiches right before the matches. So you can see how superstitious these guys are, man. A peanut butter sandwich can make the whole difference for them. Just as long as they believe that it will actually do something, which, I mean...
I think it has stuff to do with education as well. Like for example, Juan Manuel Marquez is probably from a poor part of Mexico and doesn't have much education. And he's boxing as a way to get out. So he doesn't know what's like medicinal, what's like proper medicine and what's not, if you get what I mean. So he just believes his own shit. Get it?
Well, actually, no, hold on a second. Repeat that again.
I think it has a lot to do with education as well, because someone like Marquez is probably from a poor part of Mexico and probably used boxing as a way to get out of poverty.
He did.
So he doesn't really have the education to know what's like like medically proved it or not, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, well, he said he stopped
really
that.
Superstitious, because poor people are more superstitious in general than the rich, because the rich probably have more education.
Right.
More in science and shit.
Yeah, he did say that he stopped doing that once he hooked up with Memo Heredia. So, all right, hold on a second. I'm just gonna invite somebody here. So yeah, maybe once he even said that if he let it go, then that means that he didn't really think that.
What is this guy talking about? Marquez is a millionaire fighter. I know he's a millionaire fighter, but he didn't start off as a millionaire. He started off poor, like most fighters did, but he worked his way to the top.
It's true, man. The guy worked his way to the top. He didn't have any big, big promotion. I mean, he was with Top Rank, but he was never with. They never matched him up with Eric Morales, or he never got the chance to fight Barrera. So, Marcus earned it all, man.
This guy's fucking retarded, Juga. I'm talking about when he started off his career and when he was younger, and when he grew up. Not now. Now he's rich. I know that.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, Jugar. He's talking about Marcus back before. Well, actually, he was already a millionaire by the time he fought Mayweather. He fought Pacquiao. Well, actually, no.
I mean, I'm not talking about that. I mean, when he grew up.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's not like he started studying once he made $1 million. Yeah, you're right. I get what you're saying. But you know what? Actually, Marcus worked as an accountant for a while.
He was an accountant, really?
Yeah, for a while he was boxing, because he wasn't getting big fights, so he would. I don't know if he had a degree in accounting, but I know he used to work for the Mexico agricultural something department.
That's good on him.
Yeah, man, he's
one of my favorite all-time fighters, Marquez.
Yeah, me too, man. It's a shame he retired. You know what? I actually think that in 2012 he could have beaten Danny Garcia.
Yeah, he could have beaten Danny Garcia. He could have beaten Amir Khan probably.
Khan, I don't know, man. I don't know about Khan. Khan, I think, would have been too fast for him.
Yeah, but I don't know. Counter punching.
Yeah, if Pacquiao wasn't too quick for him, then I think he could have dealt with Khan eventually.
I don't. Yeah, maybe it's style. I think it's different styles though. But have you guys seen that video clip where Amir Khan is sparring back when he was with Freddie Roach, and he's going to war with some dude?
Oh yeah, have you seen Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao sparring?
I don't believe I have.
That was back when Freddie Roach.
Yeah, apparently Amir Khan admitted that. Okay, yeah, there is some, but I think it's just like 10 seconds of sparring, or it says. No, it's actually just a minute. It's like about a minute of sparring. Amir Khan really needs to. Is he gonna fight again, or did that payday that he make against Canelo just completely cement him for life?
I don't even know. I want to see him fight though. He was a good fighter to watch, even though he got knocked out. He was quite like quick, and he bought it. He bought a fight, if you get what I mean. He didn't run or anything, but he's fucking chinny as fuck, and I just don't like his personality.
Now that's the thing. It's wasn't he the darling of the British Olympic team back in 2004 when he silvered?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But you don't like him then?
No.
Now
he's just turned into a fucking Kardashian now. He's just more into like drama and shit than boxing.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I think I asked you about that. Like, who did you prefer, Brooke or Khan? And I think you said Brooke, right? Or you don't like either of those?
I don't like any of them, but I would want to see Brooke win.
Yeah, that would be a good fight, man. But Brooke has to heal from his wounds.
Man. He'll fuck him up, knock him out.
All right, so guys, it's already been 3 hours, man. I think we're gonna end this now. I think we've covered all topics. We covered Jacob's fight. We covered Beterbiev's upcoming fight. We covered the heavyweights. We covered the light heavyweights, and we even talked about Stevenson. For a good long while. We talked about Golovkin, as always, even though he's not even fighting right now. Anything else you guys want to say before we go? Any parting? Did you enjoy? Okay, last question, and this the same goes for everybody in the chat room. Do you enjoy when Jack Alter and AlterPlace start going at it, or when AlterPlace goes at it with anybody, or is it getting old now that this whole debate about Stevenson and
Jack's a kid, man, and he's still, you know, he just wants to joke all the time about Stevenson and throw him in at any time and just start shit, man. He's a little troll.
a little troll. Okay, Hassan, we already know what you think about.
You can ask King Bicho.
He's bringing out the worst in people. Put it that way, you know.
All right, let's get this straight right away. King Bucho, man, come in here and tell us the lowdown. You've been following the chat section and what people were saying during this whole debate between AlterPlace and Jack Alter and Cameron. What's the lowdown here? What's the synopsis?
I don't know. Most people agreed with. I mean, most people agree that Stevenson is not actually, you know, the number one pound for pound. But I don't know. There were some complaints about Jack.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty much it.
You can't fault Lopez for having his opinions. You know, if someone's gonna have their opinion, you don't agree with it, you can't get mad at them. But you know, Jack just seems to want to always bring that up, and that gets people heated, and people start arguing. And then you know, you had a guy like Cameron who was completely civil the whole time. It was enough to just clearly irritate him, you know.
Yeah, didn't you leave during the?
It started him out, you know.
Why didn't you ban Jack from your stream? He's fucking irritating.
Well, as a general rule here at BDA, we don't want to ban anybody because we branded this whole thing the Boxing Debate Arena, which is that we go far and away to give people more slack than any other platform out there. So whatever you say, whether it's racist or whatever, we try not to ban people. But I mean, listen, if enough people are saying this and it's starting to become a problem, we'll certainly take a look at it. But Ray, did you actually tune off or tune out while the whole debate was going on, or?
I just let him talk, and I started going off in chat and looking at other things, you know. I hate it when we talk about the same stuff over and over. And when you get two people arguing, it's nobody's going to get through to each other. So it's just it's pointless to listen to somebody argue like that, you know.
Right.
There's no getting around to it. AlterPlace is going to believe that Adonis is #1, and you know, that's fine. I don't want to sit here and argue about that for an hour, or listen to somebody argue about that for an hour. The conversation made no progress.
Yeah, because we've talked about we've already discussed that topic with AlterPlace about how he thinks Stevenson's #1. So in my mind, you know, he brings up his arguments. I obviously don't agree with it, so let's move on. But then, you know, people keep bringing a subject up, and and people get heated about it. So what can I do? You know, I can't cut the conversation short.
To agree to disagree, and then just move on to the next subject.
Yeah, and Hamed is
with Jack around. I don't think that's possible.
All right, so Hamed he's in the chat and he says that Jack is immature, but I think Hamed and Jack already have a beef, because I was in Jack Alter's podcast last night with Victor Atkinson, and Hamed was saying how he has problems. He's got beef with Jack Alter, so you know, Hassan obviously.
It's funny because I have beef. I have a bit of beef with, not beef, I wouldn't call it beef because that's just being immature.
Right.
Calling it beef. I just don't like the guy and he doesn't like me, so it's like that. I think a lot of people don't like him, so he's just really unlikable.
All right.
As a person. So it means there must be something wrong with him if that many people don't like him.
Yeah, at this point I gotta wonder what's going on here. Well, listen, King Bucho's gonna get on it. He's the special police. He's like the SS of BDA, right, Bucho?
The SS.
Bucho, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'm here. What?
Oh, jeez. Do we have a new person just as we're about to leave?
It's Cachnello, man.
Cachnello, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Fine, sensational. You missed...
Listening to you guys talk about Jackass over there.
Oh, you don't like him?
Can't seem to shut up about Triple G.
That too, man. He just, it's his endless love for Triple G is equal to AlterPlace's love for Adonis.
Yeah, he was cool for a while.
Does AlterPlace actually love Adonis Stevenson? Was he trolling?
No, he's not trolling about Adonis Stevenson.
Oh, what the fuck?
No, yeah, he really thinks Adonis Stevenson is the best number one. Which, hey, you know, like I said, it's his right. The pound for pound, it's subjective. There's no such thing as an official pound for pound list. So he wants to put Adonis Stevenson or Sor Rungvisai in there. That's definitely within his rights to do it. Cachnello, man, you came in at the last minute, man. So I'll let you say, man. What do you want to say? Like, you got any? Like, what's your prediction for the fight tonight?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I know you guys talked about the Jacobs Arias fight. I think, I think Danny Jacobs is probably gonna stop him in the later rounds, maybe in the mid rounds. I know Arias' intentions is to kind of just make it a dogfight, because I was listening to the weigh-ins, and it was kind of hard to hear, but you can make out he was telling Jacobs to sort of meet him at the middle of the ring, so he wants to brawl it out with him, it looks like. So I think that's his only chance, honestly, is to maybe catch Jacobs with a good shot.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a reasonable prediction right there, because we don't really know all that much about Arias other than that he seems to have good skills, but good enough to beat Jacobs by decision? I guess we'll have to find out. Now, how about I want to get your prediction before we go on Beterbiev.
I don't think catching him with a good punch will do anything, because Danny Jacobs isn't chinny. He's got fucking solid chin. He survived against Triple G, the hardest pound for pound puncher. I don't think Luis Arias could hurt him.
Oh
yeah, but I'm kind of curious to see how Danny Jacobs is gonna come in as far as his weight. If he's gonna come in as heavy as he did versus Triple G. I think he might come in lighter, but I don't know. That's what I think. He's probably gonna come in lighter, move around.
Even at the weigh-ins, Luis Arias looked tiny compared to Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, that was really noticeable, size difference.
You could even tell by like his arms and his chest, and like fucking Danny Jacobs has looked a lot bigger physically. So, I don't know.
Well, there you have it. Predictions all around. I hope it's a freaking competitive fight that we get tonight. I hope we have some competitive ones. I don't want to see too many mismatches. But I want to listen. I want to thank all you guys for having joined us. Ray, you stuck in there the whole, 3 hours? Good for you, man. You're a fucking warrior. I also want to thank Hassan for having come in. Cachnello. Well, next time we'll try to do this either earlier or maybe if we go longer. I don't know. But
yeah, that was my bad. I was doing other things.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And by the way, I really enjoy the way you're debating people in the comment section for the video about Rigondeaux Lomachenko's footwork, man.
Lomachenko haters, man. They come up with like the craziest like things to pick at to just ruin like Lomachenko's credibility. All this is crazy.
It's a big fight, man. People really get heated up about it. So there's a lot of, people are really passionate about that fight. So, and that's good, man. I mean, that's what we want. We want some lively discussion going on.
I agree.
So yeah, but thanks for keep commenting and watching the videos, man. I really appreciate that. And I thank you for dropping by here. Hassan, no problem, man. Hassan, also thank you. I want to thank you for having come in. I want to thank Imbucho. I want to thank AlterPlace. I want to thank Jack Alter. Who else dropped by? I think that's about it. And also, shout outs to everybody. Was that?
Jack?
Yeah, I gave him a shout out as well.
Thank Jack. I
thank everybody because I really do appreciate everybody's cooperation here and everybody's support. I want to thank Hamed92, who the one and only, who was also in the chat. I want to thank Hassan again, who's in the chat as well. And here, Covert Operative, Sasquatch, Flexgado, who couldn't come in this time. Hopefully we'll try it out next week again, and hopefully you can come in, Flexado. Jugar. Who else was here, man? From the beginning, there were other people. I want to get a shout out to them too. Real quick. I think
Covert Operative.
Covert Operative. I think I gave him a shout out. Yeah. Matt Newton, who was here for a while as well.
Crizito.
Oh, you actually get the whole list. Foulpole Boxy, who was here for a while as well, giving us some good comments, some funny stuff as well. Lazar Ostevich. You know who you guys are. The whole gang, the usual suspects. That was another BDA live podcast. We got a lot of good fights tonight. We're going to talk about it next week, and we're going to talk about the other fights that are going to be taking place this fall. For everybody here, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next one. Well, take care, guys.
Peace, bro.
Peace, man.
All right, later.
Later, guys.